Welcome to another edition of the Sports Block. My name is Will Giddis, alongside Tyler Scholler for another edition of the Sports Block. This is the fourth round of the 4A playoffs, and it's shaping up to be a good one. We got a beautiful December night. It is 73 degrees, and I couldn't ask for much better football weather, and much better matchup for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week, the Mustangs faced rival Garner Trojans, and the Mustangs came out with a legendary win over the Trojans, 24-21. And that was a huge game for the Mustangs because they had not beat the Trojans, and I think it was like 8 or 9 straight games. So that was huge for them.
Yeah, you know, this is what Middle Creek really is fighting for today, this game. And if they win at this game, they're going to the state championship. We won't get ahead of ourselves there. But, of course, this weather is a sharp contrast from what the Mustangs experienced against Garner. It was, 27 degrees at kickoff, something ridiculously low like that?
A mere 27.
That's North Carolina weather for you. Really, you want to talk about erratic weather. That's right there. It's a whole 50 degrees difference. But I'm really not complaining. I'm really not. Speaking of that Garner game, we're going to take a look at some of those highlights and kind of how the Mustangs were able to pull that one out, because that was, like I said, that was one for the record books. And so here they are, the third round of the 4A playoffs. Mustangs are going to start off in the first quarter, coming out of the tunnel. They're getting the hype. This is the biggest game of the year by far. Mustangs on their 10-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Stuart Fine for the score. That's going to put the Mustangs up 7-0. Later, at the end of the first quarter, Mustangs on the 18-yard line. Bristol passes to Bertson, who's going to evade defenders and run it in for the score. Bertson has the most touchdowns of any receiver for the Mustangs, and keep in mind he was injured for a majority of the season. Going into the second quarter, Trojans are threatening in Mustang territory. Bryton Hudson throws it into the end zone, which will be ruled a touchdown, not an interception. It looks like a close one, depends on how you look at it. Later in the second quarter, Mustangs punting in their end zone, which is then blocked by Garner and fallen on for the touchdown. This is one of several special teams touchdowns for Garner. They were limited to only one offensive touchdown the entire game. Mustangs on the 45-yard line. Bristol's going to look deep, and even in double coverage, he's going to throw it to Schuler to come down with the pass for the score, and that's going to put the Mustangs up 21-14. You can imagine he's pretty excited about that one. Mustangs going to be punting with a minute left at the end of the half, and it's going to be tipped at the line, which is taken in by Garner and ran down the sidelines for a Trojan score. That's going to tie it up at 21, so some second half dramatics here. Game's going to be tied. Like I said, Mustangs parade down to the inside their own 10-yard line with time expiring. This was a huge decision for Castellano to make, whether to kick or attempt a touchdown. They will kick it, and we're going to go to the fourth quarter.
All right, so the Mustangs are knocking on the door of the Trojans at their 15. Gristle fires a bullet to Jay Schuler, who manages to turn his way into the Trojan 5 on a crucial fourth down play for the Mustangs. That fourth down conversion would seal the deal for the Mustangs, earning their first ever state playoff trip to the semifinals. And last week when we were up here in the sports block, that was one of those plays that we were talking about. The Mustangs had to convert to be able to get that and secure that win, and that was just a huge play for them.
That's clutch. That's the definition of clutch.
Absolutely. And talking about clutch, the Curtis Burson effect we have here. In the first game against the Trojans early in the season, the Mustangs really didn't put up many yards. They had 160 yards rushing and 208 passing, but they really focused on the passing game, and with Burston back, that really helped. They had 413 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a total of 492 yards.
You know, and adding on to the Burnson effect, it's the Gristle effect, because if you remember, Gristle got injured early in that game as well, and the two of them combined are just a lethal weapon.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see he was 34 for 57 with 413 yards. Stuart Fine really came in and took the spot of injured Josh Drake, for 13 rushes for 42 yards.
And he did have a touchdown, too, early in the first quarter.
Yes, absolutely, and then you have the Curtis Burson effect, 8 receptions, 127 yards, and a touchdown. He's had a touchdown in every game so far back, and he leads the team, like we said earlier, in touchdowns. Garner really didn't do that much, especially with running back number 2, Naheem Hines. He was 474 or 73 yards the week before against Jack Britt, and we held him to under 80 yards. That's just huge for the Mustangs defense.
And you know, you look at this Wake Forest team, we'll get more into it later, but Wake Forest is a very run-heavy offense, and being able to stop one of the best backs around the area, that's going to be huge from not only Mustang morale, but just knowing that they will be able to stop Wake Forest here. And speaking of which, they have a key injury. Their starting running back, Bryce Lee, I believe it is, Bryce Love, he's going to be out for this game with a hamstring injury, and they're going to be forced to put in one of their backups. So Mustangs might have a good advantage here on defense protecting against this run because they really do not pass it very often.
Yeah, I believe we were looking at stats earlier, and I believe they've thrown like a total of 90-something times all season. And if you go back to the stats that we showed earlier about the Garner game, we threw for 57 times. So we've already thrown over half of their passes that they've thrown in a whole year.
Yeah, why don't we take a look at the brackets, kind of how we got here, how Wake Forest got here, and it's a story of upsets, really. You look at Wake Forest bracket. They were the 12 seed. They won every game they played. They were not expected to win. And in their defense, they should have been a higher seed. They had some late game losses that should have been wins. And then going down to Middle Creek's bracket, of course, Middle Creek won every game they were supposed to, the number 2 seed, and that secured home field advantage, which allowed the sports block to function. So I guess we're thankful for that. Of course, Garner beat Holly Springs, then upset Jack Britt. I remember that game. That one was extremely high scoring, and I believe Garner was trailing late in the fourth, so I believe that was a comeback win as well. And then Middle Creek and Garner, as you just saw recently, that was the best game ever of all time, and I wasn't even there. Tyler. I missed it.
Yeah,
I'm kicking myself for that one.
Yeah, you missed a great game, Will. We still had a good show though, but we're glad you're back.
Thank you, Tyler. It's good to be back. The atmosphere is just ridiculous. It's I think this is what Mustang players live for, and what I think most people at Middle Creek lives for.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to the game with Southview's defense. Southview's defense is really good, especially their corners. I believe they have 2 or 3 corners that are D1 commits, and that really affects the Mustang passing game because they get you put those corners on Jay Schuler and of course Curtis Burston, and that could pose a threat for our offense tonight since we are a pass-heavy offense.
Yeah, that's something that Mustangs have really been able to do here is get the offense going. And we're actually going to take a look down the sideline to sideline reporter Madison Jaggers. Madison, what do you got for us?
Middle Creek takes on Wake Forest. I spoke to Coach Jacobs prior to the game, and he said this is a big game for Middle Creek history. He thinks we'll have an advantage with our offense and defense, and we can take control of the scrimmage. This is Madison Jaggers. Back to you.
Thanks, Madison. I think at this point, every game that Mustangs play, whether this be it or if they make it to the state championship next game, is going to be the best game in history, no matter how you look at it. Garner last week, that was the best game in history. Well, we win tonight, that's going to be the best game in history. And state championship, whether we win or lose, that's going to be the best game in history.
Yeah, you can tell that by the crowd we have here out at Mustang Stadium tonight. I mean, at the Garner game, I heard there was like some 8,000 people, like some crazy amount. Like it's unreal. But tonight it looks like there's going to be even more. I mean, everyone wants to be a part of that history, and so that really encourages the community to come out and support the Mustangs. Talking about support, the Kraft Family YMCA actually put up posters and stuff all throughout the YMCA saying we love Middle Creek football. So that just shows the support the Mustangs football has in the community.
Yeah, certainly. And I have a 4th period gym class. We saw them wheeling in more bleachers because I don't think even today they were wheeling in more bleachers, more than the Garner game. So you can only imagine what the crowd tonight is going to be like. And, you look over at Wakefield, I don't think I've ever seen it's so crowded except for maybe Garner, but I can't really compare it. Like I said, I wasn't there, but, it's absolutely chock full of people and blinking lights.
Oh, yeah, it was unreal. And an hour before the game, the student section basically was filled, and so was the stands here with the parents and fans and all that stuff. So they're really out here to support, and they want the Mustangs to succeed.
I think most people in the sports block on this side of the stadium wants the Mustangs to succeed. It's really, I don't know if it's for bragging rights or if it's just for the experience, but I know from a personal standpoint, being able to say that my school went to the playoffs and into the state championship last year, I don't think there's anything like it.
No, and being able to say that we commentated on those historic games is really something to just to imagine, because not many people get to call a state championship game or a 4th round playoff game like we are tonight. So that's just a big accomplishment for them and for us.
And of course, Tyler, I got to commentate on the baseball state championship. So, like I said, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because I feel like I'm giving off some bad mojo if we get ahead of ourselves. But
Yeah.
being able to potentially do both of those games, that would be awesome. Of course, you played third base for the Mustangs, that championship run. And we'd like to also congratulate the varsity cheerleaders for winning the SWAC conference title last night. It's almost become more of an expectation at this point. They win literally everything they go to. I don't think I've ever heard, the cheerleaders lost. That's never happened.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe that's 10 in a row of the SWAC.
9, I think.
Nine. It's some unruly number because, I mean, you never hear of 9 in a row, 9 or 10 in a row. So that's just something that's a great accomplishment for the cheerleaders, and also for Maddie Stillwell individually. She won Cheerleader of the Year, and so the Mustangs really swept the whole competition, winning the team competition and the Cheerleader of the Year.
I can't say I've ever been to a cheerleading competition, but from what I hear, it's absolutely ridiculous the things that they can do.
It is. It's really, really fun to go and just watch and just see because they're really good athletes, and I mean it takes a lot of athleticism to be able to do all those flips and jumps and somersaults and whatever else they do. It's just amazing to see how far they can push themselves.
Oh, sure. And I'm sure that you can't really call it not a sport when you go to these cheerleading competitions. And we're going to have the national anthem coming up here in a second. So remove your hats and show some respect for the greatest country on the face of the earth. We're going to take a quick commercial break while we do just that. You'll be right back. We'll be watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. And we are back following the national anthem, the greatest song ever, and probably one of the top 100 hits all time.
If I had to guess, just a wild guess, it might be number 1. I'm not sure though. We'll have to look up on that.
Depends where you're from. So
absolutely.
I've been itching to do it, and I think it's about time we get into talking about the matchup we got here today. Wake Forest taking on Middle Creek Mustangs. I'm going to start with a little bit about Wake Forest. Just first and foremost, they are a run-heavy offense. And I mean a run-heavy offense. Tyler mentioned it. They've only thrown, I think, 97 times this entire season. That's absolutely nothing in the passing game. You want to talk about run-heavy, there it is. Their starting running back on the season has 162 carries, 1,865 yards. That's 11.5 yards per game, yards per carry, 133 yards per game, 24 touchdowns. But guess what? Lucky for the Mustangs, he's out for tonight. But unluckily for the Mustangs, the Wake Forest has quite the depth at running back. They have 2 running backs they can go to, Sweet and Reynolds. Sweet, 167 carries, 747 yards. That's a little bit lower than their starter, 4.47 yards per carry against 11.5, and he only has 4 touchdowns. And then Reynolds, 159 carries, 871 yards, 5.48 yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns. So there is experience. They all have an equal number of carries, but certainly Bryce Love, their normal starting running back, he's out, and that's going to have an impact, I think, maybe on how often they throw it or just how productive they are. And there's not, like I said, there's not many passes, so there's not much to report in the receiving core. Nobody had any notable numbers. One thing I did find notable is their starting kicker is 5 for 11 on field goals. I don't know what Middle Creek's record is, but that sounded a little bit low to me, missing more than they have made. And they're actually 11 for 14 on point after attempts. That seemed a little weird to me, too. So that's definitely something to look for. I'm told they have a great D-line. I hear there's some D1 scholarships on the line for Wake Forest. And, of course, that's really what the Mustangs are going to be up against. So why don't we take just a look at what the Mustangs have going for them tonight.
Yeah, and like you said, their defense is really, really good, and that's going to play a big part in their offensive game tonight. The Mustangs, like we've seen all year, a really pass-heavy offense. Brant Gristle throwing for over 400 yards last week. And with those D1 commit corners, we'll see how much of an impact Stuart Fine has tonight. He had 42 yards last week on 13 carries. And so we look to see more from him tonight as we try to level out the playing field and level out the play calling.
Certainly, that's something, like you said, Middle Creek's a pass-heavy offense, but they're really not. They really do a good job of giving the running back carries. Last game, not so much. Crystal had 53 passes. I think there's the running carries were only 15, in the teens. So, I mean, if they have the ability to go to the running game, if the passing game is just not generating the offense. And I think that's what makes Middle Creek the lethal weapon. And one more thing that I'm going to add on to Middle Creek, the defense. You look at what Middle Creek did in that second half against Garner, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And with Garner's Naheem Hines, that just being able to hold Naheem under 80 yards is a phenomenal accomplishment. He hasn't been held below 200 yards on the ground all year except against Middle Creek. First game against Middle Creek early in the season, I believe he had 88 yards, and last week he had 74. So that just goes to show how dominant that defense is against the run. And like you said, with Wake Forest being a huge run offense, we look to see that in their defense tonight.
And you saw the Mustangs coming out of the tunnel. We've said it once, we've said it before. It's pretty much the ritual, and I think it's a pretty darn good ritual because we've won most of our games this year. And, I mean, it gets the crowd going. I'm not going to lie. You take a look over at the Creek Crazies, and it's a madhouse. And then I just want to point out this banner. I thought it was pretty witty. Tough to see on the screen, but it says, "Tell your girlfriends you will be free next Friday." And I can't give the cheerleaders all the credit on that one because they did not come up with that, but I still think it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that is really one of those things that you don't want to say in the first round. You want to save that for a later round because that's something that it's really, really kind of sassy if you get there. I mean, but it's just one of those things that's really, it could really work to the effect of the Mustangs, and those banners really do have an effect on the game, as little as they are as just being a piece of paper and some paint. They really have effect on the games.
Yeah, Maddie Stillwell posted a picture of it on Twitter. I think it had something like 150 retweets and like 100-something favorites. For you elderly people who don't maybe have a Twitter, that's a lot. So just know that it's kind of a big deal around the school and certainly generates some hype going into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that hype, you can see the Creek Crazies. They were really hyped during the start of the game when they coming out of the tunnel. You see the hands going up and down. That's just, and they're starting to get the gator now, just like Florida does. So that's just, they're really into this game, and it really gives the Mustangs home field advantage.
I love the enthusiasm from the Creek Crazies, but I gotta wonder who decided, let's model the Middle Creek Mustangs after the Florida Gators.
Yeah, that's.
I get the chomp for the Gators; it makes sense, but I'm not feeling it for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that's something different. You'd think they'd get something more around the Wolfpack area, something along those lines. Because I mean, a wolf is closer to a horse than a gator is to a horse. So just little things like that. But who knows? It seems to be working. It worked last week.
And did Middle Creek receive the ball, or did they kick off the last game against Garner?
I believe
they
kicked off as usual.
They always do that, and that's what I'd expect them to do here if they're given the option. They seem to work so far. Most everything seemed to work so far for the Mustangs. So
yeah, actually last week Garner actually won the toss and elected to receive. So that's something you don't see out of a team very much, as they usually want to receive the ball in the second half. But we'll see what the coin toss is, and
yeah, we just got about 3 minutes left here until this game is underway. And I mean, I would say I wouldn't want the Creek Crazies to, tire themselves out, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. They have the energy. I think they were tailgating since something like 4:30 this afternoon, throwing footballs around, music playing. It's almost a college atmosphere,
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, the Mustangs did, as set in precedent, win the toss and have elected to defer and receive in the second half. So they will be starting on defense once again. I feel like we say that every week, and it's worked.
It does happen every week.
It works. So why don't you change something that's broken? That's not broken. Excuse me.
And this is Mr. Cafone on the PA system. Friday Night Live featuring the Middle Creek Mustangs.
Which has become a big part of this crowd here at Mustang Stadium.
Mr. Cafone, I gotta tip my hat to Mr. Cafone. He's done a great job on the PA announcer. He's got the voice. He's got the voice.
Absolutely, and that's something that really generates the mood here in the crowd, creates the energy and the electricity throughout the whole stadium.
And I think the Mustangs are hoping Castellano comes back just as much as they're hoping Mr. Cafone comes back. His son, Evan Cafone, is an O lineman, I believe, for the Mustangs, and he's graduating this year. So the PA position may be up in arms following this season.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to follow in the footsteps of Mr. Cafone because he's really, really done a great job of really working on this Mustangs, on the crowd, really, and getting them engaged in the game.
Yeah, Middle Creek, the Creek Crazies did their I believe that we will win. They're still doing it, actually. It goes on for quite a while. They really do believe that they will win, and you know what? So do I.
Absolutely, and we just want to wish them the best because this could be our last game as Sports Block members doing a football broadcast. So we really hope they come through and give us another chance next week.
And here is Rubino on the kickoff, of course. He got that onside kick, which I believe they opened with against Garner.
Yeah, they did, and they actually recovered.
it. So, Wake Forest, looking at the tape, has to expect that Middle Creek has the ability to certainly kick the onside kick. It's more of a matter of will they. And, in fact, it's a squib kick of some sort. That one's going to be fielded at the 35-yard line where Wake Forest will start. That might have been, I'm not sure, but the the special teams receiving unit might be good, and that might just been a way to keep it out of their arms.
Well, Will, I believe we have a turn of events here. Earlier in the game, we said Bryce Love was out, but actually he is starting at running back for the Wake Forest. So that's something that was not foreseen.
Yeah, and that's going to play a part in the game here. Here's a first down handoff. And he's going to be tackled for little to no gain, maybe a yard.
Yeah, and that's just that wing tee offense that they run is really, really run heavy, and we see that in their stats and passing statistics or lack thereof of those.
And I really don't expect Wake Forest to throw the ball unless it's a 3rd and long. I imagine they'll just try and pound the ball over and over and over again. That's a handoff up the middle. And that one's going to be stuffed short, so that's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that's a good job by the Mustangs defensive line, really collapsing there and not having any holes for that fullback to run through.
So the first 3rd down of the evening is going to be a 3rd and 8, and maybe they'll pass here. I don't know. We'll see.
And it looks like there's a flag, might be offsides against the Mustangs. Looked like someone jumped.
We'll see what the official call is.
And in fact, it is an offsides. So that will still remain 3rd down.
I believe that is a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. Short 2, long 1. So now I believe the Wake Forest will really go on the ground this time. Because, I mean, you got 3rd and short. So we'll see what they do here.
Yeah, and I think the Mustangs know it.
And they will hand off.
If they got it or not, it's going to be close. The referees do seem to give them a first down and an extra yard, so that's going to be first down for Wake Forest.
And it really looks like they're really going to rely on that fullback because, I mean, out of the first 3 carries of the night, they've really relied on that fullback, and they've done a lot with the play action fake handoff type thing.
Yeah, we'll see what we do on 1st and 10 here. They're going to hand it off, and he's going to find a hole and cut through it. That's going to be a gain of about 5.
That was Devontae Reynolds on the carry as Bryce Love got out just before the ball was snapped. And it looked like he was limping off the field a little bit, so that injury may still be lingering, so we might see his action limited tonight.
Yeah, it was a hamstring injury, so it certainly will, as a running back, affect his running.
Yeah, and just in football in general, any hamstring injury, leg injury, quad injury, any injury will really limit your playing time.
So 2nd and 5, they're going to hand it off to number 23 here. He's got a burst of speed, but he's only going to gain about 2 yards.
There was Shaheem Mitchell on the carry, which they've used a steady diet of running backs so far.
Yeah, we talked about it. They got 3 main running backs, Love, Sweet, and Reynolds. Reynolds and Sweet have combined over 300 carries. So both even their backups get a huge amount of time given different looks to defenses.
Absolutely. So we got a 3rd and a long 3 here for Wake Forest. Handed off up the middle, and he will break free. And will be swung down at about the 30-yard line.
That was a huge burst of speed from that back.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a big running back too. He's kind of small, but he's pretty big, muscular, stocky. Stocky was the word I was looking for.
I don't know if I'd quite put him on Mike Tolbert level, but stocky.
Yes, stocky. Mike Tolbert's on a whole nother level here.
And QB has the ball, looking to throw into the end zone. He's wide open, and that's going to be a touchdown for Wake Forest. We talked about it. They don't throw the ball very often, and I think the Mustangs knew that, caught him sleeping a little bit, and he was wide open for that score.
Yeah, and that's one thing, being a really run-heavy offense, having that occasional pass can, if you catch the defense sleeping, you'll get that wide-open receiver like that.
And here comes the point after attempt.
That'll be a false start on the kicker, it looked like, as he started running up before the ball was snapped.
Unfortunately, we do not have replay tonight. That computer that we used to run replay promptly got up and died today. So no instant replay. We apologize for that. They're going to try the point after kick here. And it's up, and it is good, and that's going to make the score 7-0. Wake Forest leads the Mustangs by 7 here with 9 minutes left in the first quarter.
So after that, you see the Mustangs defense really kind of collapse there on that pass, and see how the offense responds. We haven't seen the Wake Forest defense yet, so it's really going to be a really trendsetter tonight how this offense really moves the ball and allows the Mustangs offense to move down the field.
That is Keon Smith back deep to return.
Along with Terrence White, who is one of our corners.
Both are threats on the run. Both are very quick, very agile, and they're very good at making cuts and making people miss.
Yeah, and Terrence has also played a small part in the offense this year. He's had a couple carries at wide receiver on a little jet sweep action there. But he's really one of those threats that you really don't see. You really don't see a lot of corners going, or defensive guys in this program going to the offensive side of the ball. So that was really key.
And here's the kick. That one's going to be kicked to Terrence White. It's going to be fielded around the 15-yard line. Got some room to run. Tries to penetrate a hole. He's going to be down at the 30-yard line. A good return, giving the Mustangs good field position.
Yeah, that's going to be key for the Mustangs tonight, is having those good field positions starting out.
And you see the players to watch tonight: Brant Grissel, quarterback; Stuart Fine, running back; Curtis Bernson, Jay Schuler, the receivers. All of them are really threats for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and right now it looks like we got those D1 corners out there on Jay and Curtis. So it might be a difficult night for them. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the defensive line also has D1 players as well, Division I, for those of you who don't know. There's 3 divisions in college football, 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the best, 3 being the not best. So getting a D1 scholarship is kind of a big deal. So 2nd and 10. Grissel looking to pass. He's going to throw it over to Bernson on a screenplay. Needs a few blocks, able to get them, and they're going to spot that enough for the first down.
Yeah, that's a good job. Good job blocking by Jay Schuler there. Really gave Curtis a little room to run right behind his butt, and he moved through there and got in for the first down.
So ball's now on the 40-yard line. 2 plays, 2 passes. We'll see if they run it here. Here's Fine on the carry.
And he'll be stopped for a loss of about a yard.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
There's just really no hole there for Stuart Fine to run through there. The defensive line really penetrated, sent the linebackers on a blitz, and really clogged up all the holes.
And here's another screen play over to Bernstein. He's going to run into his own player, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds back to the original line of scrimmage. So third and about 9, actually.
Yeah, blockers just couldn't get out there in time, and that really blew up the play there, because that screen pass is always a timing play.
So ball on the 43. Obvious passing situation here. Grissel's back. He's going to lob it up. That's way over the head of Bernstein. And they're going to throw a flag. That's pass interference. Curtis was calling for it, and he got it.
Well, we hope it's defensive pass interference.
I think just by the reactions of the players, that's going to be defensive pass interference. We'll see.
And that'll move the ball for the Mustangs across midfield.
And, that's something you actually don't like to see from one of your receivers. When Curtis got the flag thrown for him, he actually just stopped and did not continue with the play. If that had been against him, the receivers could have the defenders could have just went up and caught that ball, and Curtis would be caught off guard. Of course, that didn't happen, but something you got to look out for, and that's going to be a first down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, holding call took him to about the 48 of Wake Forest. So that's where they'll have 1st and 10.
Here's a handoff to Fine. Nowhere to go. Going to be a loss of 2 yards.
Well, there's some differing spots by the referees. You got one backing us up 3 yards and one a loss of about a yard.
So there'd only be a loss of a yard. Or no gain, actually, 2nd and 10. Grissel looking to throw again. There's Bernstein too hard out of his hands. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Looked like a little out route there along the sideline, and Grissel just not having the touch he's had the past couple games. I believe it's probably the adrenaline getting to him right now, because adrenaline's got to be flowing right now in this caliber of a ball game.
And here comes the 3rd and 10. Grissel to the sideline. That's too far out of the reach of Jay Schuler, and that's going to bring up 4th and 10. Grissel's really done a polar shift from the beginning of the year to where we are right now. At the beginning of the year, he would come out strong and amazing and go into the half leading by 21 points, and then in the second half the Mustangs would kind of come out lazy and we wouldn't score much. And then about halfway through the season, it took Gristle some time to get warmed up, but once the second half came around, he was just an absolute monster. That is a booming punt from Rubino, thank you.
Oh, no. So the ball will take a Wake Forest bounce.
And that one's going to be fielded at about the 22-23 yard line.
That was not the bounce the Mustangs were looking for. As you saw all of them behind the ball, hoping it would trickle toward the goal line and hopefully stop it before, but it then had other plans in mind.
7 minutes and about 30 seconds left in the first half. First quarter. One of the slower first quarters it has. Some of these games, it feels like the first quarter is over before you even realize it started.
Yeah. Handoff up the middle, and he'll be stopped for a short gain of about 1.
And it already seems like it's going to be kind of a defensive battle. Of course, Mustangs gave up that easy pass play for the Wake Forest, but with Wake Forest's main ability being the running game, with their ability to shut that down as they are right now, they might be able to fix what they did on that passing play and prevent them from scoring.
So handoff to Love around the left side, and he'll be pushed out of bounds by Terrence White. That gain is sufficient for a Wake Forest first down.
Love weighs in at 177 pounds at 5'9", so he's a pretty big guy for his size, or his height rather.
Yep, and Love's really played a minimal part so far. I mean, so far they've used him a lot as like a decoy, but we'll see how much of an impact he has later on in the game.
And here's a passing play. It's going to be a gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Mustangs player slow to get up. He's good.
That was Terrence White and Isaiah Herring there on the coverage.
Second and 3 now. And here's another handoff. This one to Love. He's going to be tripped up.
In the backfield for a loss of about a yard or 2.
I don't know if that was a loss. I think he might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Good job nonetheless of Tom Hartshorn on the tackle.
Yeah, we hear Tom Hartshorn's name a lot in these games, and he's really proved to be a big part of this defense, really crucial part, really big linebacker name for this Mustangs defense, and he's done a great job of stopping it.
3rd and 4. Mustangs need to stop here. Ball's on the 41-yard line of Wake Forest. They're going to hand this one off.
And he'll be stopped by a herd of Mustangs, and that's big right there. That's huge for the Mustangs defense.
And now it's going to come the punt team for Wake Forest. If the Mustangs can keep up what they're doing, which is keeping most of the runs for little to no gain, and maybe giving up one big run here and there, I think they're in pretty good shape. And here comes the punt.
Just gets it off.
Fair catch by Schuler. That's going to be fielded at about the 22-yard line. It looked like that Mustang, I believe that was Terrence White. Had he laid out, we might have been able to block that punt. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was fairly close, and like I said, he just barely got it off, and that's something that the Mustangs special team will work on. Coming off the sidelines now, they really they're going to talk about getting that, being able to lay out there and really give their offense a better field position.
And here comes Gristle once again with the offense. Handoff to Stewart Fine up the middle. Gain of about a yard. Just not getting any holes to run through here.
Nope, and those holes that are there are very, very minimal, and they close up very quickly, and that's really affecting the run game and forcing the Mustangs to really rely on the pass more than they have in the past couple weeks.
And here's the snap. Gristle, he's going to throw it over to Fine, I believe. And he's going to be tackled at around the 30-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and 4. It's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, he had to get rid of that quickly as they sent the linebacker on the blitz. And linebacker ran in unscathed and really gave Gristle a shot there. But he's good now.
Here's the snap, looking to throw. There's Bernston with the catch.
And yards after.
Trying to make some moves after the play, and he's got first down and another 10 yards after that, and that's going to be at the 42, 43-yard line.
Had a little bobble there, but held on to it. A little bit scary.
That's all that matters in the stat book. That's a 20-yard catch or so.
Yep, absolutely. So first and 10.
15, 20 yards. See if Gristle decides to throw here. He will. And look, about a bit of an out route.
Over the head of number 8, Jay Schuler there. Gristle's been missing high so far this game. When he has been missing, he's been missing high and leading his receivers just a little bit too much.
And that is not a good place to missing high, because it goes past your receiver right into the hands of a defender, and that is not what you want.
Absolutely. So second and 10 after the incomplete.
And here's a handoff to Fine to the left sideline. This is probably going to be his biggest run of the night. That's a gain of 4 or 5.
That was actually Quadir Ford on the carry there. He's replacing Stuart Fine there and giving Stuart some time on the sidelines, get a little water in, refresh him a little bit.
Carried a few defenders with him as he got those 5 yards. And that's going to be an offsides by Wake Forest. I think he was expecting the jet sweep there and didn't get hiked, so that's going to be a first down for the Mustangs.
The Mustangs really do like to fake that, do the hard snap count on that jet sweep there. And usually when you send someone in motion, you really don't get a hard snap count, so that really plays to the advantage of the Mustangs.
So they have now crossed over into Wake Forest territory. As they seem to have proven this drive, they don't need to get the score in 1 or 2 plays. They can kind of inch their way into Wake Forest territory and then make the strike. Here's a snap. Blitz by Wake Forest. Needs to get rid of it. He's going to dump it over the sideline. Good heads-up play by Gristle as he was almost took the sack there.
Yeah, looks like the defensive coordinators for Wake Forest like to use that blitz a lot, and that's something that the Mustangs really haven't seen. They haven't seen that 4-man front with the linebackers blitzing a lot, and so they're really having a difficult time picking up those blitzing linebackers.
Here's a snap. Gristle, they're going to bring 5 men after him. It's going to be caught, and a huge run. He needs a block or 2. He's going to take that one out to the 24-yard line. That's Keon Smith with the first down and a lot more following that. That is a huge play for the Mustangs.
Beautiful pass by Gristle there, and a good catch by Keon Smith. Really turning that ball upfield. Looks like if he had gone the other way, though, he might have been able to get it in for the touchdown.
Cut to the right as opposed to the left, I think he has a touchdown there.
Yeah, but he had his blockers on the left, and hey.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah,
worked
that's
out.
all. I'm not going to complain because that's a huge gain, and that's a real big momentum shifter.
A sideline warning, I believe, against Middle Creek. I don't know if that means Castellanos using his selective word choice, or maybe they just got too close to the field, pulling a Mike Tomlin. And here's Gristle with the QB keeper, and he's going to tiptoe out of bounds, gain of a few yards.
Not a bad run there, because, you use Fine a lot, and you use Quadir Ford, and that's really a difference right there, using different people.
And I forgot to mention it, but the winner of this game will play Mallard Creek and Butler, the winner of that game. They are Mallard Creek is winning 7-0 in the first quarter. We'll keep you updated on that game. Here's Gristle looking to pass. That's Schuler with the catch and the run. And he's not going to be tripped up until after the first down. Another nice play by the Mustangs.
Yeah, Schuler was wide open there on the little in route there, and just really settled down and had a wide open target for Gristle to throw to and gained a couple yards after. So first and goal from the 10-yard line.
Here's a snap. Gristle under pressure. He's just going to lob that one out for Stuart Fine. Not going to be able to reel that one in. Would have been a tough catch.
No, there's a lot of pressure there on Gristle with number 43. He's usually blitzing a lot. Javon Felders, he's really one of the main linebackers. He's a senior this year, weighing in at 206, 5'7", so he's a big boy to be coming down at you.
And here's Bernston with the little screen pass. We've seen this one before. He's just going to run to the other side of the field and walk right in for the touchdown. Wow, that is just pure athleticism by Bernston.
It seems like the Mustang receivers like to take the hard way out tonight. They've run across the field, then Curtis Burston ran around to the other side, and that's just amazing.
And a firework just went off. I wonder who's responsible for that. I haven't the slightest idea.
But we'd like to thank them, though.
We'd like to thank them.
That really got the crowd going. That honestly got the crowd going.
You know, other than the touchdown.
Yeah.
Here's Huey on for the point after. Kick is up.
And it
is good. So that's going to make it 7-7 with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, that touchdown. I don't know what to say, man.
You just ran
you run through everybody. You're like a tank. You just run over people. And when you could take the easy way out. But he ran about 20 yards for a 10-yard touchdown.
You know what? I'm going to start. I think Curtis Burston has really earned the title of high school Megatron.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, going back to the stats earlier, he's had a touchdown in every game back, and he was out earlier in the season, and just being able to have over 100 yards receiving in all but I believe maybe one game, and having a touchdown in every game, that's just something that's not really typical of a high school player, and that really shows in his him playing football at East Carolina next year.
Yeah, like you said, he's already got that D1 scholarship to East Carolina lined up. And he got an offer from quite a few colleges as well. I believe Boston College, NC State maybe. I can't recall everyone.
He had a lot of offers from big-time football schools. Like Boston College was a big one in the ACC. I believe he might have also had a Virginia or Virginia Tech in there somewhere.
I think he did.
But he's chosen to take his talents to ECU, so that's big. So Rubino's set to kick.
And this one's going to be a full touchback. That one's just going to clear the end zone. Didn't even land in the end zone, then bounce out. Just went straight into the end zone.
Very nice kick. Last week, with the weather being cold, we didn't see many of those. It was barely getting to about the 10-yard line. Then there you go with the warmer weather tonight. That really affects the kickoffs for the kickers.
But following the first kickoff and then this one, it really leads me to believe that the special teams for Wake Forest is probably pretty good if they really do not want it in the arms of those players.
Absolutely. So 1st and 10 for the Cougars at their own 20-yard line.
They're going to give this one to Love.
He'll get wrapped up for maybe a yard there.
Good job of smelling that one out. And I wouldn't call it exactly a triple option. Like you said, it's that T-wing formation, something along those things. But what really keeps the Mustangs off balance is, and they've done a good job of addressing it, is you never know who's going to have the ball. The quarterback can either keep the ball, they can hand it off to the fullback, or they can give it to one of their running backs. And this play here, quarterback's going to look to pass under pressure. And I think he's got the Mustang receiver beat, but he overthrew him. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 9. But that quarterback was seconds away from eating a sack.
Oh, yeah, and that's that really says a lot about the Mustangs' defensive backs and their coverage team. Because, I mean, that quarterback had like 5 seconds or so before he really got a lot of pressure. And having the Mustangs' defensive backs really holding that coverage that long is really crucial in this game tonight.
So that's going to bring up another 3rd down for Wake Forest. They have 9 yards to go. We'll see if they look to pass here again. And they'll just hand it off. And he's going to be stopped 5 yards short of the 1st down. Another good job by the Mustangs of snuffing out that run.
And here at Mustang Stadium, it always seems that we usually get a lot of a steady diet of fake punts and trick plays. So you always got to be aware of that.
There's a flag on the field. That one's going to be punted, going to land at around the 45, going to bounce all the way to about the 38. And I believe there might be too many Mustangs on the field for that kickoff punt.
Yeah, it looked like there was. Looked like there was 12 men on the field. So we'll see how that affects the play.
So we'll see exactly what it is here once the refs are done deliberating.
as they are taking a while to deliberate.
Better to get it right than to
Get it quick.
get it quick. Yes, I was just going to say to not get it right, but that sounds a little bit better. So it will be against Middle Creek. I think no matter what the penalty, that's going to give a first down to Wake Forest. You can imagine the special teams coach is maybe angry.
Well, it looks like
I think everybody on the sideline.
Looks like it's going to be a repunt.
Oh, maybe
So-
not so angry.
Well, that's good.
That worked out in the Mustangs' favor.
Wait, never mind. Nope.
Okay, so they're not going to repunt. It did not work out in the Mustangs' favor.
No, not at all. So after that long period of pause and play, Cougars will take over 1st and 10 at their 41-yard line.
And looking to pass here on first down.
Way over his head. Pass intended for number 10, Brooks Cunningham.
And, you know, even after the touchdown pass, I'm not very impressed with the quarterback. He made that one touchdown pass, but for the most part, his throws seem kind of weak, more lobs than throws. And as you saw there, he went over the head of his receiver.
Looks like Mac Moore, the quarterback for Wake Forest, a little shaken up on the play. Really kind of that shoulder looked a little tender as he was kind of favoring it a little bit.
Here's a snap, handoff to the halfback. He's going to cut into the hole. Gain about 4 yards on the play.
That was Devontae Reynolds on the carry. And looked like he wanted to go that end around, but the Mustangs corner came up. Terrence White came up and really forced him back in, but a hole opened up and he was able to gain about 5 yards on the carry.
And if you hear the sound of women screaming, that's whenever Tom Hartshorn makes a tackle, as he did on that last play.
So 3rd and 5 for the Mustangs defense.
Here's a snap, handoff up the middle, number 25, and he's going to be stopped short of a first down.
Rasheem Wise on the carry, and that's another big stop by the Mustangs defense right there.
And another score update, Mallard Creek leads Butler 14-0 here in the first quarter.
And it's a fake. There's a flag on the play also, but regardless of it, Mustangs will take over. Pending it's not against us, the Mustangs will take over.
We will see. I missed the play. I was looking at a piece of cardboard I was handed to read you guys the score update. Thanks, whoever handed me that cardboard. So illegal shift against Wake Forest. That one's going to be declined, and the Mustangs are going to get the ball in very good field position.
Yeah, starting on the Cougar side of the field for the first time tonight with 18 seconds left in the first quarter. And like we said earlier, it's been an extremely long first quarter.
And we will be going down to Madison Jaggers for a sideline report after the quarter's over. Here's a snap. Bernson in motion. I'm sorry, that's not Bernson. That's Keon Smith, and he's just lost a ton of yards.
Loss of about 9.
Just did not have the blockers to prevent those guys from coming in and tackling them, and the clock's going to wind down here. So the score at the end of the first is going to be tied at 7. So we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers for a sideline report. Madison.
After Wake Forest was able to score a touchdown, Coach got a hold of the defense and told them they need to read the guys and make the plays. Curtis Burston was able to make a touchdown for the Mustangs, making the score 7-7 at the end of the first. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. We're going to go into a commercial break. We'll be back with the second quarter. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. He one block, and he just shrugs him. And we're back with the Sports Block. Creek Crazy's excited for the second quarter, as are we, as are you, as is anybody else within about a 5-mile radius. 12 minutes, beginning of the second quarter. Mustangs are on a 2nd and 18 after that failed play by Keon Smith. That was a jet sweep that went south as opposed to north.
Yeah, and Keon really just, like we said earlier, didn't get those blocks, and that really blew up the play in the backfield. And that shows you how important blocking is for an offense of this caliber here.
So, bit of a delay here. I'm not quite sure what for.
Looks like they're getting the chain set. Hopefully it's in favor of the Mustangs. Hopefully shortening up a link or two.
18 yards is 18 yards, I think. Here's Gristle looking to pass on the obvious passing play. That's Keon Smith with the catch, redeeming himself a little bit. That's going to be a bring it out to, some extracurricular activities. I believe there's a flag on the play. And judging by the reaction of Wake Forest, that one's going to be against Middle Creek? Or is there no flag on the play?
Doesn't look like there's a flag. They're hoping for one there, but if anybody, I believe it would have been on Wake Forest there, because Keon Smith really didn't look like he did anything.
No. I saw somebody run into the pile. I think that was Jay Schuler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the snap from Gristle. Here's the catch, and that's going to be short of the first down. That was only a gain.
There's a flag coming in way back from the back judge late.
That was a nice throw by the back judge.
That was a really nice throw.
That was a 20-yard pass.
Sign him up for the NFL right there. That's perfect.
So we'll see what the call is.
Pass interference on Wake Forest, so that'll move the chains for the Mustangs and give them another 15 extra yards and a new fresh set of downs.
But they're not moving just yet. Slow and steady wins the race, or in this case, the football game. Maybe they're going backwards.
These delays kind of frightening for us and for the fans also.
Kind
of makes us second guess ourselves a little bit, because you're like, oh man, it's really quick, but then when they hold up a little bit, and kind of makes you second guess yourself. But after the penalty, the Mustangs will have a fresh set of downs at the Cougar 28-yard line.
This is one over to Burston. Burston. I can never say it without the N after the burr.
It was Jay Schuler on the catch. Sorry to burst your bubble there, Will.
You'd think at this point in the season, with the different body types that Curtis and Jay are, I'd be able to tell them apart, but I can't.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm colorblind. Here's the snap. Handoff to Stuart Fine.
He's got a big
He's
hole.
Got a huge hole. That's the biggest run of the game for Stuart Fine. Creek Crazies love it.
Yeah, and there's a huge hole there. Good blocking by the offensive line. I guess Wake Forest was
expecting
thank you, the pass, and they didn't get it. And Gristle will be sacked.
It's one of the few times I've seen him get sacked. Very rarely is he sacked.
And that really goes to show his athleticism with the minimal number of sacks.
He can move his feet.
He can, and just that was an unfortunate play there for Gristle. Kind of got caught in his reads and didn't have a chance to really move anywhere.
So Mustangs' worst-case scenario right now are within field goal range if they are unable to score. Gristle going to throw it over to Burtson.
And he's got some blocks.
And he's going to cut it in for Mustang touchdown.
That's a huge again, there's that screenplay that we see every week, and that is just one thing that just seems to never be able to be stopped. But looks like might be a flag, maybe. Looks like the refs are discussing something.
Hey, man, did you see that play? Yeah, I saw that play. It was pretty awesome. You see that play? I saw that play. I think that's what they were saying.
I hope so. I hope that's what they're saying. But here's the ref with the call.
Hope it's not holding.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Cougars.
So that penalty will come into effect after the kickoff from Middle Creek to Wake Forest.
Yeah, so what do they do? Kick off on the 40-yard line in high school?
I think if it's not tacked on, I think it will be on the 40-yard line. I think you're correct.
So that
that's good.
Mr. First actually confirmed that it is the 35-yard line. So that'll move the ball up to, I believe, the 50-yard line. I believe it's a 15-yard penalty.
So that's easy call from up here. And for Castellano, I think onside kick is in our future for the Mustangs.
Who knows? We might see it. Haven't seen it yet this game.
Here's Huey.
And it's up, and it is good, and there is another flag on the play. As Chris Huey looks like a little bit slow to get up.
Going to have the trainers run out there, all of them. But he's up and good.
So that's a total of 30 yards, 30 penalty yards assessed on the kickoff.
So onside kick in the future, I'm thinking. But I kind of gotta laugh at Chris.
Very good acting.
He's like, oh, got my leg. And then
if he does not have a future in football, he has a future in acting. He's a very good actor.
So we'll see how this turns out for the Mustangs with all this penalty yards against Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the running into the kicker is different from roughing the kicker. I believe running in is only a 5-yard penalty, while roughing is a 15-yard penalty. As you see there, Mallard Creek still leads Butler 14-0. Believe it is the second quarter at this point.
Yeah, and Mallard Creek, the last time they played Butler, beat Butler, I believe it was 20-7. And they've only allowed, I think it was 127 points this season. And that's an average of 9 points a game. But they've scored over 700 points, which is ridiculous. So it really goes to show their caliber of offense and defense also.
All right, so they're kicking from the 40-yard line. So maybe those penalty yards will be tacked on after they receive the ball.
Well, Mr. Cofone just clarified that the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was on the Mustangs.
Oh, okay. So they offset.
So they offset, and that will Mustangs will kick off from the 40.
So they might not onside kick it.
And they do.
And they got it.
And it's a recovery for the Mustangs. Just take a guess who that might be.
I don't know. Tell me, Tyler.
It's Tom Hartshorn.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. It's Thomas Hartshorn again. And there's the screams from all the girls and the ladies in the stands tonight.
Don't forget Mr. First behind us.
Absolutely. He's one of them.
Oh, man, that was a beautiful onside kick. Wake Forest was not expecting it. Mustangs were. And that's going to be Mustangs' ball. That is a huge play.
And that really big momentum builder for the Mustangs after coming off that touchdown.
Here's a handoff. Fakes the handoff to Fine. They're going to flip it out to Keon Smith.
And he's got
a block. If he had shed that tackle, he was in some serious real estate for sale. He was going to be into the touchdown.
And there's that screen again that we talk about all the time, but it's just one of those crucial plays that the Mustangs have in their playbook that they use a ton throughout the game.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
And you think defenses would pick up on it, but they don't.
That was fine on the carry, not getting very far. But, you know, the defense starts expecting those screen plays, and before you know it, Gristle throws a pass, 40 yards downfield to a touchdown to Curtis Burnson,
Yeah, they have so much balance in the passing game also with those short passes. Then they bust one out for deep.
And that pass juggled and eventually dropped by Schuler. Had some defenders pulling at his arms after. I'm sorry, that was Troy Diebolt, one of our receivers, bobbling it. And he had the defenders pulling on his arms so he couldn't bring it in. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 9.
So this is a big third down conversion for the Mustangs. They just need to get close to that first down marker, hopefully put them in field goal range. And there's a flag, which that will help.
That's going to be a encroachment call against Wake Forest. So that's not going to give the Mustangs a first down, I don't believe, but it will make it 3rd and 4.
And that helps them out. Any yards you can get off penalties are crucial yards, and you need to capitalize on those.
And I'm looking into my crystal ball, and I foresee a screenplay in the near future.
You might be right, but we'll see what happens here as Mustangs have 2 running backs in the backfield. They try it again, and again they will jump off sides.
Tough to tell from up here. I didn't think he had crossed that kind of neutral zone. I thought he stopped in time, but the refs are going to flag him for a offside, so Mustangs don't even have to do anything on 3rd down.
Yeah, there's Javon Felder there, and he's one of the linebackers that has really been coming on the blitz, and he's showing it. But the Mustangs are just kind of outsmarting them and really forcing them to wait back and not being able to get those jumps that they have been early in the game.
So 1st and 10, Gristle looking to pass. That's going to be tipped and swatted into the backfield from the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Good job by the defensive line there, getting some pressure on the ball and really getting their hands up and being able to block that ball, because it looked like Jay Schuler was open out on the flats.
Yeah, and that was number 76, Antoine Terry on the swat down.
So 2nd and 10. Mustangs have 5 receivers wide and a flag.
See what this one's for.
Might be false start on the Mustangs. And indeed it will be. And that'll back them up to the 28-yard line and make it 2nd and 15.
I'm just going to stop guessing what kind of plays they're running, because I think I think my guess will always be a screen pass. Because that's been what works.
Absolutely. So again, 2nd and 15, 5 receivers wide.
Bringing in 3-man. And caught by Smith! Are you kidding me?
No, they're calling him out of bounds.
Oh!
No, wow.
Oh, that looked like a catch.
Oh, man.
That had to have been a catch.
He landed inbounds, it looked like. I mean, he bobbled it, but he came down inbounds.
Unfortunately, no instant replay. I would have loved to seen that one.
And from the reaction from the radio guys on the other side of the booth, it looks like they're signaling it should have been a catch.
So here's 3rd down and 15. Over the top of Bernston. Oh, he drops it. He drops it. That was an easy touchdown if he catches that one.
Yeah, I believe it was tipped by the defender there, but regardless, it'll bring up a 4th and 15. Looks like they bring on the kicking unit. So,
and according to my sources, that pass was actually tipped before reaching the hands of Burnson, so it might have had some weird movement on it. This is going to be Rubino on the kick. Let's see, that's going to be a 46-yard field goal.
He's going left-footed.
And it's a fake.
And that did not work.
An unsuccessful one at that. I'm not sure what I just experienced.
It was good play by the defense.
It was a good thought.
It was a very good thought, but
it's a thought that counts.
Better play by the defense there. Really, like as you usually get the defenses when you get the field goal, they just go for the all-out block, and then that leaves men open. But that time they really stayed on their men and held them out.
I mean, even if he comes down with that ball, he's still about 10 yards short of the first.
Yeah, absolutely. So handoff up the middle.
It's going to be a game about 7.
That was Sweet on the carry.
And you saw last game, a field goal was the difference between winning against Garner and tying and potentially going into overtime against them. So we'll see if that busted fake field goal will come back to haunt the Mustangs.
So 2nd and 3 for the Cougars as the clock winds down to about 9 minutes left in the first half.
Here's a handoff to the outside, number 6. Open field tackle. That was a nice one. And that's going to be short of the first.
Nice tackle by Terrence White out on the flats. There's really, if he had gotten past, he'd have been.
He had a lot
of room to run there.
And that was Reynolds on the carry. So 3rd and 1. I imagine if they don't get it here, they'll probably go for it on 4th. So Mustang's gonna have to stop them twice here, but there will be a timeout on the field. I believe with that timeout, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. And we are back. Was not a timeout, actually. They were measuring the spot of the ball, and they will give Wake Forest a first down here. So it's no longer 3rd and 1, rather 1st and 10. They're going to hand it off up the middle here.
He'll be stopped.
Gain of about 2.
Thomas Hartshorn again on the tackle there.
And the lady screams as follows. And another update, Mallard Creek leads Butler 21-0. So getting to be a bit of a blowout in what should have been a very close
really good game.
Yeah.
Considering the score of the previous game early in the season. We'll hand off up the middle.
Good job of finding the hole there. That's going to be still short of the first down, however. 3rd and about 3.
Tackled by Jacob Pearl there, as it'll be, like you said, 3rd and about 2. So the Cougars last time on 3rd down converted, well, no, 2nd down. But they've done a good job of converting on 3rd down so far this game. 3rd and shorts to be specific. As they rely on that run game. As Jamal Sweet is in at running back. So.
Oh, and they had him in the backfield. He's going to shed a tackle. He's going to run down the sideline for all the way out to the Mustangs' 28, 29-yard line. They looked like they're going to be able to. They had so many men in the backfield ready to tackle him, and he just ran right in between all of them, and that's a big gain for Wake Forest.
Yeah, that was Bryce Love there on the carry. He's seen limited action, but when he has been out there, he's been a big playmaker for the Cougars. Still looks like that injury's bothering him a little bit, which could be part of the reason why he's coming out now. So 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle.
Gain about 8, maybe 9. So hard, even from up here, almost a bird's eye view, it's tough to see exactly who has the ball.
Yeah, that goes a lot with their offense and their quarterback doing a really good job of being able to fake it. And that really, if it's difficult for us up here, I can't imagine how difficult it is for them down there, because we can see most anything, really.
And hand off to number 6. He's going to bust it around to the outside. He kind of stutter stepped there. I think if he had just kept running, he had a huge hole on the right sideline that he could have ran right up. But it gave that little stutter step gave the cornerbacks enough time to come up and address the run.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to cut back inside. I believe he might have saw something brewing in there, but it was stuffed quickly before it could open up, and so that'll bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Cougars at the Mustang 21-yard line.
And the Mustangs are going to, I think, jump off sides here. So it is encroachment against the Mustangs. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, enough for the first down. And Wake Forest now threatening inside their own 20, on the 15 to be exact.
And this is the Cougars' first trip inside the red zone tonight, I believe. That touchdown pass was outside of it. But we'll see how the red zone defense for the Mustang goes on. Little jet sweep going on in there.
It's going to be a gain of about 4 or 5 yards, depending on where they give him forward progress.
That was Bryce Love there on the carry. Doesn't look like a gain at all.
Doesn't look like a loss either.
Nah, so looks like he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Generous call.
Do some deductive reasoning there. So 2nd and 10.
Should I call you Sherlock Holmes?
You can call me a math major.
All right. Here's the handoff. Going up the middle through some holes, and that's going to be enough for the first down, I believe.
And it looks like
it'll be close.
Looks like they're signaling him short, maybe about a yard, less than a yard.
So 3rd and inches.
As I imagine they'll go right up the gut tonight, or on this play right here. And just a little fun fact for you. This is the first time Wake Forest is trailed in the playoffs, and the Cougars don't have a come-from-behind win all season. So we want to keep an eye on that as we see how they respond to this deficit that they are.
It's not a big one, and I think they're about to close it here. And he's going to be stopped inside the 5-yard line. Enough for the first down, but not enough for the touchdown. Thomas Hartshorn on the tackle. Again. Tom Hartshorn, of course, involved with us up here in the sports block. Obviously, he can't do football. I believe he does basketball with us from time to time. Also involved in Skills USA, which is another club that same teachers are involved in. So we are familiar with Tom.
So 1st and goal.
Handoff up the middle, number 28. Looks like they're going to stuff them 2 yards short of the score.
Sweet on the carry. Really had no hole really to go through there as they tried to run it up the gut, but to no avail. So looks like the Cougars will bring in Devontae Reynolds, number 6, to replace Sweet. Also, Love is in the game as they'll hand it off to Love, and he'll try to scoot around the outside.
Stretch play, and he's going to be short of the touchdown. Barely, though. About another yard, and he was in.
Good job by the Mustangs defense with going low, really taking his legs out from under him, because with the momentum he had going, if they had tackled high, he might have been able to carry it over the goal line. But taking out the legs really helped stop the momentum.
So 3rd and 2 is actually the official call. And if Mustangs can get a stop here, I think they'll have to get a stop again on 4th down as they're so close to the score.
Yeah, it's a huge 3rd down stand for the Mustangs D as they'll try and sneak it.
Keeper.
I don't know. Looks like he might have gotten over with the second effort.
I don't know that I agree with that call. It kind of seemed like he was down and then kind of after he was down slid into the end zone. I don't know exactly. He was under a pile, but that will be a Wake Forest touchdown. So here comes the point after attempt. This is number 35, Zach Coates.
Almost blocked by the Mustangs.
Will be good. So that's going to tie the score at 14-14 with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the second quarter. Second quarter's gone by extremely quick, it seems.
A lot faster than the first quarter.
Much faster than the first quarter. And if the Mustangs play their cards right, they have the ability, if they don't, get to 4th down, to kind of wear out this clock going into halftime.
Yeah, and that'll be big for this offense. Really, hopefully they can get that momentum going into halftime. Hopefully maybe put some points on the board. Give the Cougars something to think about during halftime, put a little stress on their defense and on their offense also.
And I don't know if you saw that on the screen there, but one of the Mill Creek assistant coaches getting his team fired up. He looks pretty intense, as you imagine a football coach would.
Looked like the kicker was trying to cheat us a little bit. Tried to kick it from the 45-yard line instead of the 40.
And here comes the kick to the right side. That one's going to be fielded. Going to be brought back around the left side. And if he's not tackled, no, he will be. He's going to be tackled at around the 20. But good job by Wake Forest special teams of getting over there and preventing him from coming back towards the other sideline, as if he had made it there, he would have been a few extra yards, to say the least.
Yeah, he could have turned the corner, had some good blocking downfield, and that's something that the special teams does very well, does very well blocking. And when they get those that open space along the sideline, that really opens up that running lane for them.
Here's Gristle in that spread offense, looking to pass to the sideline. That's Schuler with the catch. And that's enough for a first down.
He'll step out of bounds. at around the 32, 33-yard line. Good wherewithal of knowing where the yardage markers were and just stepping out and kind of conserving a little bit of clock because you don't want the clock to run too fast.
2 minutes and 58 seconds. Fakes the jet sweep, looking to pass over to Burtson on the screenplay.
There it is again.
Gain of about 5 yards. That's probably the smallest amount of yardage gained on a screenplay so far this game. Still a good amount of yards too.
Yeah, and it looked like some of the Cougars bit on the fake jet sweep there, which you saw a lot of them reverse and being able to see it, but that could come back and really be a big play for the Mustangs.
And here comes the blitz. Gristle's going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. 3rd and 4 is going to be coming up. And just a random thought, Gristle's probably the best quarterback we've seen so far these playoffs. Every team we've played has kind of had a quarterback that kind of takes a laissez-faire approach, and the running game is really what been carrying most of these teams. Garner, Fuquay, Southview, they're all run-heavy teams, including this Wake Forest team. And Gristle, I think, just really outshines other quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that play, he had Troy Dybo open on the flats here. Looked like he could have had enough for a first down. He's open again, and
it's going to be about 5
loss.
yards short. A loss.
So that'll be a loss of a couple yards. The Mustangs will be forced to punt with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in this first half.
That's more than enough time for Wake Forest to make something happen on offense.
And if the Mustangs use their timeouts wisely, they could possibly get another crack at an offensive possession.
Almost blocked once again, but once again a booming kick by Rubino. Another score update, Mallard Creek versus Butler. Mallard Creek leads 21-7 this time. Butler on the board, down by 2 touchdowns.
And that's really going to be a game to watch. Is Mallard Creek is ranked number 1 in the state, the 52nd team nationally ranked in the nation. So they really are a good team to watch out for.
Something like half their starters have D1 scholarships, I think.
Something ridiculous like that. Handoff up the middle.
Going nowhere.
Looked like it was to Sweet. So the clock will dip under 2 minutes now. And here comes that 2-minute drill that teams practice a lot.
If Middle Creek can not give up a ton of yardage here and prevent a first down conversion, they'll probably burn one of their timeouts to maybe get the ball back.
Little sweep. Oh, and
makes a few cuts, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield. That's going to bring a loss of about 5 yards.
That was big. Could have been a loss of more as Jacob Pearl got turned around a little bit. And but regardless, that'll be a loss of 4 yards, or 5 yards, excuse me, and bring up a 3rd and 14.
And no timeout has been called. So imagine they might just run the ball here to try and eat some even more clock, or even make Middle Creek waste a timeout. In fact, they do.
The option.
QB keeper.
Should around the outside, and he will, wow, he'll get
just keeps running.
More.
What was that? More. Just carried the Mustangs up another 20 yards.
And that was Moore on the carry, the quarterback, which that was the first option we've seen this half, and something we haven't seen out of many teams except really Fuquay and Southview used it a lot. But that's something not typical of this Cougar offense.
58 seconds left here. The clock did stop. He got out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
They'll drop back to pass.
Looking to throw. There's a wide open receiver, almost intercepted by the Mustangs off the fingertips of that Mustang defender, and that was a close one for Wake Forest.
Uric Sands on the coverage there. Looks like gave him quite a bit of cushion there. If he had pulled that down, he might have been able to turn it upfield for a couple more yards after the catch.
So under a minute, and we're going to be going down to Madison Jaggers at halftime for a halftime report. Worth noting, there's several news stations here to cover this game. The winner will go to the state championship, as we mentioned.
Another fake handoff, and he'll be sacked.
Sacks. There we go.
There we go. Took him a while. Sounded like a little snake up here, but he was snaked down, pulled down.
Snaked down. It's hard to go. Well, it's difficult to take him down. Hartshorn on the tackle again.
And so looks like the Mustangs will
save their timeouts, let the clock burn down here, maybe go into halftime tie game. I believe Wake Forest will probably try a play or two before going into the locker room. Now,
looks like they'll get maybe one more playoff.
Within 10 seconds here, 8, 7, 6, 5. Here's the snap.
They'll just
Handoff
run it up the middle.
Going nowhere. So that's going to be the end of the first half. And it's going to be a tie game at 14-14. And we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers for a halftime report.
During the beginning of the second quarter, it seemed to be really tense out on the field with a few personal fouls being called on Wake Forest for foul play. The Middle Creek was able to score another touchdown, making it 14-14. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. And up here at the Sports Block, we're going to take a quick commercial break for halftime, the band, and what have you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back for the second half of this football game that's shaping up to be a good one. Stay tuned. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two.
Let's hear it for the mighty Varsity Mustang Cadets. Again, they'll be at the Apex Training Parade tomorrow night. With the concert Friday.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he and kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he drugs them all, and he and kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he drugs them all, and and kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he drugs them all, and and kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he drugs them all, and and kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he drugs them all, and and kick is up. And we are back with the Sports Block. We'll get us Tyler Scholler here for the beginning of the second half, beginning of the third quarter. Mustangs have elected to defer at the beginning of the game. They will be receiving the ball here in the beginning of the second half. And still tied 14-14, surprisingly, or rather not so surprisingly, low scoring so far. Both these defenses are very good. So here comes the kick into the right side of the end zone there, really avoiding Terrence White. And he's got some good holes.
Looks like it'll be tackled at around the 34-yard line. That's a really good run back. Gives the Mustangs good field position to start off the second half. And they really do a really good job of setting the tone early in the second half for their offense. And it really their defense seems to play up to that tempo that they play.
Here's Gristle with the pass. Over to the sideline, that's Keon Smith going to be caught for a gain of about 3. Mallard Creek leads Butler now 28-7. Third quarter, I believe. Don't quote me on that one.
So we have some halftime stats here. Middle Creek is 13 of 23 passing for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. And surprisingly, we have 9 carries for no yards at all.
And here's Burnson on the little.
And he lost the football.
On the screenplay, we'll see they are indicating, Wake Forest indicating they have the ball, and the referee is indicating the same. So that's a turnover by Burnson for Wake Forest, and that's going to give them great field position.
Yeah, that's a drive killer there. It really doesn't help the tempo that the Mustangs like to play up to, and it really doesn't help their confidence either.
And you talked about Mustang offensive yards. Wake Forest is 2 of 5 for 36 yards and touchdown passing. They have rushed 32 times for 138 yards and a touchdown. So it seems like Middle Creek's done a pretty good job of, stopping the run, and there it is with 138 rushing yards.
Yeah, considering they've only thrown 5 times. And Wake Forest has a huge advantage against Middle Creek in terms of plays. They've run a total of 37 plays. Middle Creek has run 22. But total offensive yards is really slim. Wake Forest has 174, and Middle Creek has 144.
And this will be a encroachment call on the defense, not helping the team out following that turnover any. That one's going to be spotted at around the 38-yard line.
So 1st and 5.
Fumbled
Snap, and it's on the ground.
We'll see
Mustangs
who
are
has
fighting
it.
for it in there. Looks like they're signaling Wake Forest picked up, and they did. Number 25, Rasheem Wise, picked it up.
That was a golden opportunity for Middle Creek to swing the momentum right back around.
Just not able to get down there and
I don't think any of the linemen knew that it had been fumbled.
Nope.
Nonetheless, going to be 2nd and 7, so they actually gained yards on that play.
Hand off to Love.
Makes a cut through the hole. About 5 more yards to go.
So that'll bring up about a 3rd and 4. And getting this stop here for the Mustangs is really key. Coming off that turnover, that fumble by Burston, where he really had basically the whole Wake Forest Cougars defense on his back, and it's a miracle it didn't happen sooner. But
yeah, if they can make the stop here, they're outside of field goal range, so they might be able to force a punt here.
Handoff up the middle, and he's stopped for no gain. So that's a great job by the defense. As you see the Mustangs sprinting off, hopefully not getting another penalty. That's Brendan Weinberg there on the tackle.
And they have it's a fake,
and it's incomplete. Wow, that could have if he had caught it, that could have done some damage.
It looked like it, based on where he landed. I think he might have been a yard short, even if he did catch it. Tough to tell, but worked out in the Mustangs' favor as that fake will put the Mustangs on the 35-37 yard line.
And the Mustangs special teams has to be aware of that, as they've tried that twice. Is it twice so far? Yeah, they fumbled the first one, but they've tried it twice tonight.
So Mustangs right back with the ball. Here's a handoff to Fine, loss of a yard or two. There's a flag on the play. Excuse me.
So that'll be holding against the Mustangs. That'll back them up another 10 yards.
Bring up 2nd and 20. Mustangs on their last 2nd and I believe it was 15 or maybe 20. They had 2 touchdowns, one called incomplete, though it did seem to be complete, and a drop by Burston. Here's a snap, fake to Fine, over to the sideline. Here's a screenplay. Burnson not getting very far.
Keon Smith on the reception.
Did I say Bird? Oh, my God.
It's okay, Nick. Or Will. Oh, man. We both messed up on that one. But that reception will move him over the 30-yard line and make it this 2nd and 15 a little bit more manageable. Tried the hard snap count again, but to no avail.
Here's Gristle looking to pass. Over to Jay Schuler. Needs some blocks.
Does not get them.
Gain of 2 yards maybe. Good job of Wake Forest snuffing out the screenplays so far this drive.
Yeah, and that's probably one of their biggest halftime adjustments, was being able to stop the screen that the Mustangs like to run so much. And so far it looks like that preparation and rethinking the defensive strategy has paid off so far.
And here's Snap looking to pass once again down the sideline. There's an open receiver. That's going to be caught. I believe that's Schuler. And he's going to run up the sideline all the way up to around the 42-yard line. That's a big gain for Mustangs, gain of about 20.
That's a huge third down conversion there. Really gives the offense a little bit of a little momentum there.
So 43-yard line, going to hand it off to Fine. Hasn't been able to do much so far today, only going to gain about 2 yards here. And I don't think that's anything against Fine, you know. I think that's the D-line doing a good job and the O-line not being able to create any holes for him to go through.
Yeah, and that's big for Stuart Fine to come in. I believe, is he a junior?
I'm not sure on that.
But anyway, for someone of his caliber, not to have as many plays this year as he would have liked, coming in and having to come up against this D1 caliber line is just a big step up.
And that is a drop pass by that Middle Creek receiver. Some people call it for pass interference, but I think that was a clean hit.
Yeah, look clean.
It was close, but
close.
It definitely came in after the ball touched the hands of the receiver.
It was bang bang, but he did touch the ball before he was hit.
3rd and 7.
So another hard snap count does not work, so they will send in another play.
Here's Gristle on another 3rd down. Screen over to Bernston. He's got the blocks, but he's going to cut it all the way out to the other sideline and not going to have enough for the 1st down. Tried to do what he did on that touchdown pass, but not going to be able to get around and make that turn. Seems like he had the blocks, and then I guess it all just kind of collapsed.
Had a couple missed blocks there.
Couple missed blocks.
But those couple missed blocks were crucial missed blocks for the Mustangs offense there.
So that's going to bring up 4th.
And about 2 or 3.
And the offense is staying on the field. Ball's on the 40-yard line, so it would give Wake Forest a pretty good field position if they don't convert here. I imagine they're going to pass as Fine has not been able to get anything going.
And they tried it offsides on the Cougars. Another hard snap count. And that's 3 times this drive they've tried. And the one time they needed it to be successful, it was.
If I had $1 for every time that one person went offsides, man,
we'd
$3.
We'd be fine. We'd be pretty good so far. $3 isn't such a bad deal. Could be a lot better though.
It's more money than I'm making, which is none. So ball on the 30. There's a snap. Looking to pass. Looking deep for Bernston. I think that's going to be out of bounds. Yep, and incomplete. And nonetheless, so 2nd and 10. I could tell that when that one came out of his hands, it's going to be a little bit too hard.
Yeah, that was a dangerous pass there. Thrown into double coverage, and Bernston almost ran into the goalposts. It looked like it was pretty close.
That's not something you can easily live down.
No, it is not.
Of course, when you're Curtis, you can probably get away with it.
You'd probably knock down the goalposts.
Yeah. Here's a fake handoff. This one's going to go to number 15, actually.
Nowhere.
See where they give him down at. So, going to be a loss of about 4 yards, maybe 5.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and long and knock the Mustangs out of field goal range.
Yeah, I was going to say Rubino definitely has the leg, but that's from a kickoff point of view. It's different for field goals.
I don't know about 52-yard kickoff leg.
Gristle going deep again. And that one's going to be swatted out of the hands of the Mustang receiver. Good play by the defender. Looks like he's calling for a face mask. No flags thrown, so that's going to bring up 4th and 15.
Good coverage by Kendall Messi there. Looks like he had him beat. That Mustang receiver had him beat, but ball was thrown outside of the catch zone, and he was not able to pull it in.
So it looks like they're going to bring out the kicking squad, punting to be specific. We'll see if it's another botched fake attempt.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Seems kind of odd, though, on the 35-yard line. And they're just going to
And good job by the Mustangs special teams right there.
Down
Beautiful.
at the half-yard line, it seems.
That's beautiful. That was beautiful.
That was
that ball,
close.
That ball took a little bit of a scary bounce there as it kind of started skipping a little bit. But Mustangs were able to dive on it and stop it from crossing the goal line.
So that will turn out to be a good call by Castellanos. Wake Forest now has abysmal field position.
And we'll see what they decide to do here because this Mustangs defense has done a good job of stopping the run. So a loss here would be huge as that would result in a safety for the Mustangs. Handoff up the middle, and he stopped in the backfield. It's a safety! It's a safety! Thomas Hartshorn, it looked like.
That is a huge play for the Mustangs.
And that will put the Mustangs up 16-14. And they will be getting the ball right back. As I was wrong, that was Brendan Weinberg on the tackle, and that was a beautiful blitz, beautifully timed, and just broke through unscathed. As you can see Coach Wilkes on the monitor there, firing up his special teams and wanting them to continue to put points on the boards, put pressure on that Cougars defense.
And did quite a good job of that so far this game.
He is a very persuasive man and very good at giving good pregame speeches and pep talks during the game.
So that safety might be a deciding point in this game as neither offenses have been very successful so far throughout the game.
So the Cougars will kick off from their 20-yard line, pending they are going to kick in, yes, because I believe they also have the option to punt. I know they do in the NFL. I know they have to punt it in the NFL, but I'm not sure about high school. I believe they have the option.
That is correct. And it looks like Jay was signaling to the rest of the special teams that he's expecting an onside kick, but no, they're just going to kind of squib this one at around the 40. Going to pick it up, try and return it.
He'll have some open room, and the football came out. Oh, no. Football came out.
Oh, dear.
And they're fighting for it underneath.
I think the Mustangs will come up with the ball. Offense is on their way, and Mr. Petty's saying they recovered. I'm going to take his word for it. And
the Mustangs do recover. Scary event there.
Yes. Wait. Hold up. Wake Forest has the ball now.
I'm not sure.
Speechless. I thought they indicated that Middle Creek had the ball.
I thought they did too, and I thought Middle Creek came up with it.
Well, the best thing they can do now is just make a stop here and make sure that isn't a
Got
deciding
a pass.
factor.
And it's intercepted! Intercepted by Terrence White!
That is
That's a huge interception. Huge.
They're just playing ping pong with the ball at this point. Here, take the ball.
Nice little tip drill there. Terrence White was practicing it to himself, and that was just beautiful right there.
Terrence White has to lead the team in interceptions at this point. I haven't heard of anybody else's name being called during these interception plays throughout the season.
So the Mustangs will regain the ball at the 16-yard line.
Not as good a field position had they not fumbled. Here's Gristle looking to pass. Under pressure, and he's going to get rid of it. He's going to throw it to the sideline. He's lucky that one's not intentional grounding.
Good job by Gristle of avoiding the sack there. He had a lot of pressure coming on him, and he just quickly got out of the pocket and threw it away.
So 2nd and 10, ball in the 16. Here's Gristle again looking to pass.
Got a lot of pressure there.
There's Schuler, has a few blocks, going to make a few cuts.
They'll try to strip it again, and they do strip it, but he was down, and they're calling him down.
I feel like they should be calling forward progress or rather calling the play dead a lot sooner than they are.
Yeah, it seems like they are a little late to blow the whistle, but
and that's given Wake Forest the opportunity to make plays like stripping the ball, as we've seen. So 3rd and 3.
Huge third down for the Mustangs here as they're deep in Cougar territory.
Gristle looking to throw deep. He's looking for burst, and he's going to be overthrown by another 2 or 3 steps.
Pass intended to Keon Smith. Just overthrew him.
I don't know why I confused the two. I really don't.
Yeah, Keon's a little bit smaller than Curtis. Just a little bit, though.
They both have like these white gloves, and I just look for the gloves. I think that's what it is. I don't know.
I can see where you can get that mixed up a little bit.
But I think the two are different enough that I should be able to tell them apart.
So Wake Forest will call a timeout.
And with that timeout, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You got 6 minutes left. We'll be right back with the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And we are back with the Sports Block. 4th and 3 for the Mustangs, looking to punt here. They're on the 24-yard line. Rubino with a monster leg looking to pin the Wake Forest back. There, the Cougars.
Nice punt. There's it will
land at the 40, bounce out of bounds at around the 41 of Wake Forest.
So past couple possessions, we've had a little ping pong action, as your words, and hopefully we can get another turnover for the Mustangs here. Those turnovers, from the looks of this game, turnovers are going to be the key margin in this game.
Indeed they are, and this is an odd game with the safety. Don't see those too often. Here's a handoff, number 6. Running up, no gain.
Devontae Reynolds on the carry, gain of about a yard. And really spreading out this the run game between the 4 different running backs is it really hasn't worked the way Wake Forest envisioned, I don't think, because they were hoping they would get fresh backs in with the Mustangs not being able to switch out their defenses quickly. And really the Mustangs have done a great job with all the different personnel that Wake Forest brings in.
And here's another handoff, number 22. This is Love. And he's going to be tackled about 2 yards short of the first. So that's going to bring up the 3rd and 2.
You see that hamstrings really bothering Love as he limps off the field. So we have a huge 3rd down and 2 for the Mustangs as the Cougars try to get another first down to keep this drive going.
Here's a snap, handoff up the middle, finds a hole, and that's going to be enough for the first and an extra 5 yards after the fact. Sorry, 3 yards after the fact. Ball is going to be spotted about the 44-yard line into Mustang territory.
So 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
Here's a snap. Handoff number 23 towards the outside. He's going to be tackled for a gain of a yard or 2.
Good open field tackle by Terrence White, the cornerback.
That was Shaheem Mitchell on the carry.
And he's a new running back that we haven't seen so far this game. Maybe
he's not getting as many looks
maybe
as,
that's it. That's probably it.
As Reynolds, but he's getting some looks.
I think he might have had the first maybe couple carries in the game or something along those lines.
Here's a
handoff up the middle. And he'll be stopped for a short gain, very short gain. This forward progress will move him up half a yard.
Another huge third down for the Mustangs. Because they are outside of field goal range, they will be forced to punt if they don't give up the first down here.
So a huge third down, like you said, and this could really spark some momentum in the Mustangs if they can get the stop here.
And fakes the handoff, looking to pass. He's going to run it himself, and he's going to keep going.
He'll have more.
And he has enough for the first down. I thought he was going to be 2 yards short.
Looks like there's a flag thrown in late along the sidelines.
I have a feeling it's going to be a late hit against the Mustangs. We'll see here.
Looks like it'll be a personal foul.
So it is, in fact, a personal foul against the Mustangs. That's going to back them up 15 yards, I believe.
So first down for the Cougars as that penalty moves them inside the red zone to the 19.
The last play started at the 42-yard line. They're now on their own, or I'm sorry, on the Mustangs 19.
Cougars hand it off.
Got a hole, needs a block. Not going to be tackled until he's inside the 5-yard line.
That was Shaim Mitchell on the carry.
Mallard Creek still leads Butler 28-7.
So first and goal for the Cougars. Mustangs defense really needs to step up here and get this stop.
Here's a snap, number 6 up the middle, going nowhere.
And he will be stopped there. That was good play, good penetration by the defensive line and the linebackers there.
That was Reynolds on the carry. King Kyaku on the tackle. So they actually lost a yard there, 2nd and 6. See what they do here. I imagine they're just going to run it through all their downs.
Handoff around the outside, and
that's going to be a touchdown.
That will be a touchdown, yep.
So Wake Forest taking advantage of the opportunities they've been given, and pending the extra point, they're going to go up 21-6 on the Mustangs. And there's still a lot of time left. 2 minutes in the third quarter, then you have a whole another 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. This third quarter's gone by pretty quick. So if that's any indication, it's that Middle Creek will have time to work with if they continue trailing here. And the kick is up, and it's good.
So the Cougars will take the lead with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third quarter, 21-16. And big turn of events there as the Mustangs got the safety down here, but were not able to capitalize on that missed opportunity by the Cougars.
So the Mustangs here going to be receiving the kick. They haven't done bad on special teams per se. They've done a pretty good job of giving the Mustangs, decent enough field position. But I think busting a long run out here would be huge for the Mustangs.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, what the Mustangs need to do, they need to start putting together a drive, really getting some put some yards under their belt, help get that momentum going again for the Mustangs, and that's a big part of getting that offensive game started back up again.
And Wake Forest has not attempted an onside kick yet. Don't know if they will through this game or not. This one's going to be kicked towards the right side.
But there will be offsides on the Cougars.
So that will back them up from where they last kicked. So it was being kicked from the 35. It will be backed up to the 30, I believe.
So that will help the Mustangs a little bit on the kickoff. Back the Cougars up 5 yards.
So I haven't really, seen a big demonstration of the kicker's leg. Most of his kicks have been inbounds, not touchbacks. I don't know if that's by design or he just doesn't have the boot to do it. So we'll see if they just try and go for the touchback here or if they actually kick it shorter from when they last did.
Yeah, and now is now I don't foresee the ball going into the end zone, as they'll just kick that one deep to Rasheem Eaton.
That one's going to be fielded around the 12. He's trying to bring it back. Needs a few blocks, but he's going to be dragged down a little bit past the 20-yard line. So not the best, not the worst field position for the Mustangs. Would have been about equivalent to a touchback, so Gristle and the offense going to have to go to work here. Need 80 yards, or rather 78 yards for the score. Here's Gristle. Hand off to Fine up the middle. Looked like he ran into his own blocker there. That's a gain of 2 yards.
A little bit more of a gain there, and that those short yardage carries help to open up the passing game a little bit, make the defense pay attention to that run game a little bit more.
And that one's going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage, so that's going to bring up third down.
Been a quick possession by the Mustangs so far, and I believe 20-some seconds is run off the clock, and that's something that they need to keep the ball, give their defense a little bit of a rest, because coming out on the...
And it looked like Wake Forest might have jumped off sides there. I'm not sure why nothing was called. They might not have crossed that neutral zone. It looked like they did.
Looked like a hand was over the ball, but...
3rd and 7. Looking to pass. Batted down again. And that's going to bring out 4th and 7.
Yeah, that was batted down by Dexter Lawrence, who is a 6'4" sophomore defensive lineman. And you really see that 6'4" size come into play there with that arm reach and being able to swat that ball out of the air.
And I think what's the number one thing that's hurting the Mustangs right now is the lack of a running game, because Wake Forest has to spend all this time devoted to the passing game. And when the rushing game comes in, they have no problem dealing with it. And here comes the punt. Took a sweet time getting rid of that one. Going to land at the 50. Mustang bounce to the 45 and not going to be down until about the Wake Forest 41-yard line. Quick score update. Mallard Creek now leads Butler 35-7 in the third quarter. I think it's going to be hard for Butler to come back from that one.
So after the punt, the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 at their own 41. And Mustangs need to get a big stop here, kind of halt the Cougars' offensive momentum a little bit.
If they can force a 3rd and out, I think that would be one of the biggest plays this quarter.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be tackled for a gain of about 2 yards. That was Jamal Sweet on the carry.
And that was Anthony Mitchell on the tackle for the Mustangs. He is one of our sophomore or junior defensive linemen, which he's played a big part in this defensive line too with their success.
2nd and 8. They're going to hand it off to number 6 up the middle, going nowhere.
Devontae Reynolds on the carry. Might have been a loss, or nah, looks like they're just giving him right back to the line of scrimmage. That was Thomas Hartshorn on the tackle again.
I mean, I'd say this is a monster night for him, but for Tom Hartshorn, that's just another day.
That's a normal night. That's
just
another day on the job.
Another day on the job.
So big 3rd down stop here for the Mustangs if they can secure it. 3rd and 7.
Here's a snap. Handoff, number 28 again, and he's going to be tackled with about 5 more yards to go for the 1st down.
That was Bryce Love on the carry, and wasn't able to get outside as Jacob Pearl had the outside contained and forced him back in and right into the middle of a bunch of Mustang tacklers.
And the offense is actually going to stay on the field here. It's the end of the third quarter. That might be why. So we're going to go actually down to Madison Jaggers for Sideline Report, Madison.
During the beginning of the third quarter, it looked like a war out there. Both teams were taking the ball away from each other due to interceptions and fumbles. Middle Creek was able to stop their player and score 2 points on the board for us. However, they were able to come back and make a touchdown, making the score now 16-21 Wake Forest. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. And we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, it'll be the fourth quarter, so stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. We are not going to commercial. Sorry to have deceived you. We had to get those Creek Crazies doing their roller coaster thing is, I think, the best description for it. So punting team is out here.
High snap.
And he's going to have to hold on to this.
And I hope they can get him down, and they will.
Scary play as he almost turned that one into a first down.
Yeah, that was really scary. It looked like he might have had a chance at the first down if he had gotten a couple blocks there. But good job by the Mustangs of really forcing him out of bounds there and giving them good field position to start off their first drive of the fourth quarter.
Heads up play by the punter of not trying to kick the ball. I think he recognized that the pressure was going to be there, and it certainly was. And that's some pretty good moves for a punter. Yeah, faked out some middle Mustangs there. Here's a screen pass over to Burston. No block in there. That looks like a face mask.
Looks like a loss of maybe one. And we have a Mallard Creek Butler score update as Mallard Creek pulls ahead now 42-7 against Butler. So that one's turning into a little bit of a blowout.
Which is just the opposite of what's going on here. Very low scoring for high school football, and specifically for this Mustangs. Here's another screenplay. And he's going to turn it upfield. Rashid Eaton on the play. Looks like he's still going to be about a yard short based on the spot they gave him.
A little more manageable for the Mustangs, though. Looks like one of the Mustangs has a cramp.
And with that cramp, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
And we are back with the Sports Block. Mustangs on a 3rd and 1, need to convert here. They're on the 37-yard line. Might try and draw Wake Forest offsides here. Fakes the handoff.
Pass to Curtis Burston is complete, and he's got some room to work. He'll spin move, and he's still on his feet. And he'll spin his way down to the 25-yard line of the Wake Forest Cougars.
Aside from his size, I'd have to say Curtis Burston, one of the things that really separates him from other receivers is the yards after the catch. And that might be by design, by the screenplay, but, the things that you see him do, it's just he shakes people off. And here's Gristle looking for the score to
pass to Jay Schuler, it's a touchdown! Touchdown Mustangs!
That one was deflected off of somebody. I don't know if it was Schuler or the defender. He's just going to come down with it while it's still in bounds. That's a huge play.
That was beautiful catch by Schuler off the hands of the defender from Wake Forest. And Jay being able to tight rip the sideline and keep his balance and just stay right in bounds. That was beautiful, beautiful play by Jay.
That was absolutely phenomenal. You know, we spend most of our time talking about Burnson, but Jay Schuler really is one of the better receivers, probably the second best receiver on the Mustangs. And if you remember, Burnson was out for most of the season, so he was forced to step up. And so far he's done that and then some, even with the return of Burnson.
So the Mustangs offense will stay on the field as they go for the 2-point conversion to hopefully put them up by 3.
Here's the snap.
And it will be blown dead. False start.
Lucky for the Mustangs that was blown dead because Fine was not going anywhere with that carry.
And looks like they'll bring on the field goal unit.
I think even with the offsides penalty, I think or false start penalty, I might still try and go for it just under the circumstances. I'm not sure.
It's a little bit of a farther 2-point conversion than you would want. So I believe it's a good call by Castellano just because you want to get those points on the board.
And here comes Huey. Kick is up. And it's good. And you can see in that last shot we just had up, there are people lining the fences, literally lining the fences of this stadium. And the bleachers are filled on both sides of the field, and people have just overflowed to standing on the fence. And that's something you love to see in high school football.
Absolutely. And I believe this is the first game we've ever had that, like, there's been, well, besides the Garner game, there was tons of people here, but there seems to be more people here tonight than there were the Garner game. Because, I mean, going down the stairs to the concession stands is that you can't walk.
You know, Tyler, speaking of which, if I got 3 wishes from a genie, I'd probably devote all 3 of those wishes for people to stop standing in that ramp so I can go down and buy food. It is the most obnoxious thing, I will tell you.
It is obnoxious, but would you really use all 3 of them on that?
All 3 of them. I wouldn't even ask for more wishes. I wanted to make sure the job is done.
Not a bad idea there.
Thank you. In other news, football will be played here.
So Michael Rubino is set to kick off. I think an onside kick might be in store here for the Mustangs.
Tough to tell. We'll see. Looks like he's going to just drive it in. Yep. It's a booming kick.
Out of the back of the end zone.
And he's just got, I keep saying it, but he's got the monster that is his leg.
And that's good. It's good that Rubino can put it through the end zone because that really limits their field position.
And they haven't had any opportunity to run it back so far this game.
No, absolutely not. I believe the best field. Well, I believe the first kickoff might have been. They might have had an opportunity to run it back, but might have been to the 25-ish yard line.
So the Cougars going to start here.
Handoff up the middle, and he'll be stuffed for less than a yard. There was Jamal Sweet, on the carry.
2nd and 9, ball on the 21-yard line. And here comes the snap, handoff, number 23 around the edge, and he's going to be wrapped up for only a gain of about 1. Late flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be against the Mustangs.
Shaheem Mitchell on the carry. Looks like the Wake Forest Cougars approve of the penalty.
$10 minutes exactly left to go here in the 4th quarter. No matter how this one ends, it's going to be an exciting one.
So we have a 5-yard face mask.
And that will bring up a first down. I believe, yes.
Yes. So the Cougars will get a new fresh set of downs. Ball at the 30.
And here's a snap, number 23 once again. Gain of about 3, maybe 4.
Wise on the carry again. And it seems like they like to go with Wise. They like to go around the ends. He must be one of their faster running backs, because you usually don't send your stocky guys out around the end because you want to give them space to move.
According to my stat sheet here, is actually a senior fullback, 5'5", 176 pounds. I don't know if that's correct.
So Devontae Reynolds on the carry. He'll get a gain of maybe a yard, and that'll bring up a crucial 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs. And we say crucial 3rd down a lot, but in this game, every 3rd down is crucial because the scoring margin is so slim. And I mean, right now the Mustangs are up 23-21, and it's a toss-up right now. So big 3rd down for the Mustangs.
Here's a snap, handoff up the middle, and he's going to be stopped short by about 2 yards. He's going to be short.
So the Cougars will bring on the punt team as they race on, and you see the Mustangs defense race off. And got to be aware of a fake here.
Not going to be blocked. That one's going to land at about the 30. Not going to take much of a bounce down at around the 28. And I think what's stopping these Mustang special teamsmen of not diving to...
They just threw a penalty flag.
We'll see what for. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. But what I was going to say is I don't remember, actually.
Looks like they're saying the Mustangs had too many players on the field, but the ref was counting after the play.
Can you do that?
I guess he can count whenever he wants, but Mustangs could have already had their offensive team on the field. And that is against the Mustangs.
So I'm kind of confused here. I don't know what kind of call that is. Castellano's not happy about it. Ref's telling him to talk to the hand.
So I believe Wake Forest will regain possession of the ball.
I can't say I agree with this call. I cannot.
That's terrible.
I'm absolutely baffled right now.
Making history right here.
I wish we had a replay so we could see how many players we had on the field.
Fortunately, like I said, that our instant replay computer just stood up and died today, so that wasn't good. Nobody's on the field now. So defense coming back on the field. Castellano's not happy. I'm not happy. The crowd ain't happy.
Yeah, nobody's happy in here.
And I'm hoping Castellano doesn't get in some trouble here.
Well, what's going on here? I don't understand what's going on here.
And now they're spotting the ball on the 39, 4th and 1.
Handoff up the middle, and he's got some room to work with.
And that's going to be a first down.
It's the worst officiating I've ever seen.
I'm at a loss for words right now. I really don't know what to make of that. I'm not supposed to talk about the officiating, but I kind of want to talk about the officiating.
So 2nd and 1 for the Cougars.
Here's the handoff. Number 23 makes a cut. That one's going to be down for a first down.
So we have another score update from Mallard Creek and Butler. Mallard Creek is up 49-7 on Butler, so Mallard Creek is running away with this one in the 3rd quarter.
And we're going to go down to a Madison Jaggers sideline report.
Number 17 was seen limping off the field after taking a hard hit. However, he is okay and should be expected to be returning back to the game. The refs just gave us a huge penalty and gave Wake Forest the ball. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Handoff up the middle.
Thanks, Madison. And to say huge penalty, I think might be an understatement.
Yeah, that was – I still don't understand that penalty, and it has such a huge impact on this game. Every penalty, every yard in this game has a huge, huge effect on the outcome.
So 2nd and 6, ball's now on the 20-yard line. Here's the handoff. Going to be about a yard short of the first.
Jamal Sweet on the carry. Looks like he got tripped up at the line a little bit, but Momentum was able to carry him forward.
So 3rd and about a yard.
And this is an even bigger 3rd down stop here for the Mustangs if they can get it.
We'll see.
Handoff up the middle, and he stopped in the backfield. That was huge stop in the backfield by the Mustangs there. Brendan Weinberg on the tackle and just sent him on the blitz, and he broke through the line and just blew that play up in the backfield.
Not over yet, though. The Mustangs need to the field goal unit's going to come out. This one's going to be a 39-yard kick attempt. We'll see if they can block it here. This would put Wake Forest up by 1. Here comes the kick, low. And I don't think that's any good.
And it's good, as it will just be above the uprights.
And so not the worst situation that Mustangs have gotten into. They could have surrendered a touchdown. That was a huge stop by Weinberg of making them forced to kick the field goal. So maybe tack that field goal up to that penalty. Maybe. Mustangs will get the ball with 5 minutes and 49 seconds left. They are only down by 1.
And those penalties really hurt the Mustangs there, but good job by the Mustangs of not letting those penalties defaze them. And they really stepped up and had a good defensive stand there and deep in their own red zone.
So the Mustangs have 3 touchdowns and a safety, where Wake Forest has 3 touchdowns and a field goal. So they will be kicking away here. I don't know if an onside kick is in their forte, per se.
We'll see. Hopefully, if it is, Mustangs can recover. And it is not.
He's going to be kicking to the same guy all night. And he's going to try and return this one. That is a total missed block, though. That guy just ran right by him. And that one's going to be stopped inside the 20-yard line, I think about the 18.
So not the best field position the Mustangs could have asked for, but
worst on the night, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it is. So Brent will have to
rally the Mustangs here.
Drive 81 yards for a touchdown here.
Fakes the handoff. Here's some screenplay to Burston. Looked like he had a hole if he had cut back, but he just kept running. That's not going to be much of a gain, maybe 2-3 yards.
That'll be a 2nd and 5.
Did he really get that many yards off that? That's, Gristle looking to pass. Over the middle, swatted down. That has to be the 4th or 5th ball that's been swatted down at the line of scrimmage so far this game.
Again, that was Dexter Lawrence, the big 6'4" sophomore. And he's done a really good job on that defensive line of knocking down Brant's passes tonight.
So that's going to bring up a quick 3rd and 5. Hard snap count. Here's a snap. Over to Burson.
Pass is complete.
I don't know if that's enough. It's going to be close.
Depends on where they spot it, and hopefully Cougars have got a lot of breaks their way tonight, so hopefully Middle Creek can get one their way.
And it's really tough to tell from this angle. So the officials are going to call a timeout, bring out the chains, I believe, here.
Regardless, that does look like a bad spot. I believe Curtis caught it up somewhere near the 30-yard line, but the refs are saying differently. As it looked like Castellano was pointing to Curtis's footprints in the ground, and
we've seen the footprints come into play, and I guess haven't come into play, but we've seen footprints in the past. In that Fuquay game, I believe it was, Jay Schuler looked like he was in bounds, had the footprint in bounds, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Mustangs. The question becomes, do you go for it? 5 minutes left. If your defense can make a stop, then you have enough time on offense. But they are deep in their own territory, and not converting here would basically give Wake Forest a free score.
so it looks like it'll be a yard short.
They will bring out the punt team.
So Rubino back to punt at his 13-yard line.
Here's a snap, good snap. Here comes the kick, booming kick.
Nice kick.
That one's probably going to be spotted out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. 39 is the official call. So good job that was a long punt by Rubino. That's going to give them not the worst field position, but certainly not as good as it could have been.
Mustangs defense has their work cut out for them right now. Got to have a stop here. Give the offense a little bit of time to hopefully get some momentum and get some points on the board. As the clock is now down to 4 minutes and 56 seconds left in this ball game, and it's been a tightly contested one at that.
With the way that Wake Forest runs the ball, if Middle Creek is not able to get a quick stop here, it's going to be trouble. Here's a run to the outside. Not tackled, still going. It's going to be a gain of about 6 yards.
And we have a Mallard Creek Butler score update. Butler has finally put some more points on the board, 49-14 in the 4th quarter now. So that game is slowly winding down to a close.
As is this one, inside 4 minutes and 30 seconds now. 2nd and 2. Here's a handoff up the middle, number 28 with the carry.
And he's got some room.
Gain of about 10 yards. And this is starting to look like some trouble for the Mustangs. 4 minutes, 13 seconds. With the clock running. Ball's on the 43.
Clock starting to become a factor here for the Mustangs, and they really need to get a stop here, this defense does.
Here's a snap. Handoff up the middle. Gain of about 3, maybe 4. Reynolds on the carry.
Looks like it was tackled by Terry Patterson.
2nd and 8. Ball in the 41. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. No matter what happens, Mustangs offense going to have to make some quick work. Here's the handoff. Up
and
the
he's
middle. He's
got
just emerged right out of that big mass of Mustangs.
for a first down. Jacob Pearl on the tackle there for the Mustangs.
So in the situation that Wake Forest scores here, say they go for the extra point. They will be up by 8, which means Mustangs will have to score and then convert a 2-point conversion. If Wake Forest scores and goes for the 2-point conversion and makes it, the game's over. So I think the key here is not to let Wake Forest score.
False start on the Cougars, so that'll back them up 5 yards, and that'll stop the clock.
So just inside 3 minutes now. 1st and 15, that might have been what the Mustangs need here to maybe stop this offense. Here's a handoff, 23, not stopped in the backfield, able to shed that tackle, but will still be tackled for a loss if that no gain. 2nd down.
So the clock continues to run as Castellano elects not to call a timeout. As we get down to around 2 minutes and 30 seconds with a 2nd and 17 for the Cougars.
2 minutes and 25 seconds.
And that clock's becoming a huge factor right now.
I think after this down, they're gonna have to burn a timeout.
Most definitely. Reverse fumble, ball's on the ground.
I think the Mustangs have it. No, they do not. Oh, that would have been a perfect opportunity for the Mustangs. Castellano finally calls timeout with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. So that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
And recovering that fumble there would have been huge for this Mustangs
To say
team.
the least.
That would have given them roughly 2 minutes to move the ball downfield, and they could have either just burned the clock and then gotten down for a field goal, or they could have gone for the touchdown. And either way, it would have been huge for the Mustangs.
So 3rd and 25, I don't imagine they're going to get the 1st down here. But the question becomes, when they punt it, Mustangs will most likely, pending the return, be at the 20-yard line if it's a touchback, or inside the 20-yard line. And they're going to have probably only 1 timeout left for the offense.
Yeah, that, depending on the amount of time that runs off, that should give the Mustangs just over a minute and a half, maybe a minute 45 if they play their cards right, to really move the ball downfield. And there's still a lot of things that could happen in that minute and 45 seconds.
And Wake Forest is probably just going to run the ball here to make Middle Creek burn a timeout. Here's a snap. Handoff, number 23, around the sideline, pushed out of bounds. So good job by the Mustangs of getting him out of bounds. Poor job by Wake Forest of getting out of bounds. So that's going to bring up 4th and long, minute and 56 seconds. Mustangs will have 2 timeouts to work with.
So the Mustangs defense running off the field.
Here's the snap. Almost blocked. That one's a high kick. Fair caught inside the 5-yard line. That was a poor decision by Jay Schuler, as he could have just let that one go and bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
So the Mustangs will have ball at the 4-yard line.
They're
have
going
to
to need to go
96 yards.
in a minute and 50 seconds with 2 timeouts.
But it is doable. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
It's going to be the defining moment of this game. Gristle looking to pass, got an open receiver inbounds.
Jay Schuler pass complete around the 16-yard line.
That's going to be enough for Mill Creek 1st down. Out of bounds as well.
That will also stop the clock, so only 5 seconds ran off there. That gives Castellano 2 more timeouts to work with, as he didn't have to burn one there. And I believe Castellano and the offense will start going toward the sidelines more now. They
have to. They have no choice.
Hopefully to save those timeouts.
Needs to get rid of it under pressure. Going to be caught, actually. No, incomplete.
Incomplete. Pass intended for number 2, Troy Diebolt.
Minute and 39 seconds. Clock is stopped on the incomplete pass. And I'm just waiting. We haven't seen it all game. A long pass to Burson from Schuler.
Right
over the middle.
Right now would be a perfect time to bring that one out of the old playbook.
Here's the play. Over the sideline, that's Schuler. Has no chance of getting out of bounds at that one. And they need to hurry up to the line. 3rd down, about 8 to go.
So 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, excuse me.
Minute 20 seconds. They need to hurry up here. Here's the snap. Screen play to Burson. Needs to get to the outside at least.
And he's going to be short for a 1st down.
And that's going to be a timeout by Castellano. 4th down, minute and 6 seconds, do or die here for the Mustangs. I almost don't want to look, but it's my job, so I'm going to look. Oh man,
I don't like this. I don't like having to watch this. If I was in the Creek Crazy, I'd be my eyes would be shut right now.
My eyes are shut right now. I'm going to This is what do you think they do? I think you got to throw it. The running game's done nothing.
Yeah, the running game is not something that has worked for you tonight. So you really got to pass the ball, and I'm sure the Cougars know that also. So they'll be expecting it. And
you think it's a screenplay? Because I feel like it's not. I actually don't think it'll be a screenplay.
I don't know. It might be a little 5-yard curl here just to get over the sticks.
Keep in mind though that also they have to still go down, parade down the field, even if they do get the 1st down here.
So here's the deciding play of the game.
Deciding play. Oh God. Hard count by Gristle.
They'll throw a flag.
And that's not good if it's against the Mustangs.
That'll be false start on the Mustangs.
And that's going to back them up 5 yards, 4th and 8, not making their job any easier.
Not at all.
It's going to have to be a deep pass here. Oh, God, Tyler, tell me what happens. Here's the snap. Do or die. Quick little pass. He's got to go.
And
oh God,
no.
It's so close.
Oh, gosh, I don't know what to say.
Oh, jeez. Come on, baby.
Looks like we got a generous spot, and they're going to call for an official measurement. And this is it right here, boys.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Come on.
Can't tell from this camera angle right here. It's short. And that's a turnover on downs for the Mustangs. So that's the deciding factor of the game. It's half a yard.
Less than half a yard.
So with 58 seconds left, the Wake Forest Cougars are just probably going to kneel it and call it a game.
On a 3-yard hit from the official.
So Mustangs only have 1 timeout. They're not going to be able to stop anything here.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I think the easiest thing to say was this was an amazing game. Mustangs are only going to lose by a single point. And that's going to do it. Wake Forest Cougars are going to come down with the win here. It was a close game. Mustangs had the chance to win here. Difference became the spot of a ball, and unfortunately, it's came down to that one penalty that completely changed the possession of the ball, resulted in that field goal. So Mustangs are eliminated here in the 4th round of the playoffs, and you know, it's disappointing to see, but you got to look at the season as a whole. This is the farthest the Mustangs have gone in the entire history of Middle Creek. This is the pinnacle of football right here, and I think for most seniors they couldn't have asked for much more. Maybe a trip to the state championship, but I mean, they beat Garner, they beat Fuquay, they've beat both of their rivals in the playoffs, and they're only going to lose by 1 here in this 4th round of the playoffs. And I don't think you can ask for much more. It was a very, very successful season for the Mustangs. I mean, it was just an overall success. They're not going to come down with the end game result that they wanted, being a victory, but I think they got the next best thing, and I think that was for the seniors, a great way to end their senior year. And for the younger guys, it's a great way to get experience, for next year, move on to next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you got to give the Middle Creek football team all the props in the world tonight. I mean, they battled hard, battled down to the last second, and I mean, just wasn't in the cards. And no means is this I mean, it is a disappointment for the seniors, but they really accomplished something that no other Middle Creek football team has accomplished in Middle Creek history, and so they should be extremely proud of that. And you just got to tip your hat to every one of those players, because they battled until the last second, like I said.
So you take a look back at the game. It was tied 14-14 at halftime, and then there was that, and I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say it, absurd call by the officials. They spotted it. I don't think it was a penalty to begin with. He started counting heads after the team was coming off and when our offense was coming on. And then they spotted the ball wrong on top of that. I mean, you can't blame the entire game on the officials, but that resulted in the field goal, which would put them ahead by 1 point.
Yep, that was huge that was a huge deciding play, and it really, unfortunately, really changed the outcome of this game, because Mustangs would have taken over, and I believe that play led to their score. And so it's just one of those unfortunate events. But Mustangs battled hard, like I said, and you got to give them all the credit in the world.
At this time,
And there they are, kneeling in the end
we'd
zone.
like to congratulate the Mustangs on a fantastic season.
And I believe there will be an award ceremony after the game.
If the representative can come up forward to the 50-yard line, accept the regional runner-up trophy from Athletic Director.
So they will be the regional runners-up. This was the Eastern region, so they will be the runners-up.
Again, thanks again to the Mustangs for an excellent run this year.
And the Mustangs really gave us something to look at, look forward to for next year. I will be gone next year. You will be gone also, and really, you really hope that these younger guys can see that how much of a tradition they have together and how well they play together, and hopefully they can mend that and really spark that up again next year and really move and continue even farther into the playoffs.
Anytime any Middle Creek program is done in the playoffs for football.
Here's Coach Thompson delivering the runner-up plaque.
And of course, congratulations go to the Wake Forest Cougars for winning the 4AA Eastern Regional Championship. The Cougars are playing the state championship game Saturday, December 14th at 7 o'clock at Carter Finney Stadium in Raleigh. Congratulations and good luck to Wake Forest.
And on that note, I think I'm going to say that's going to be it for us here at the Sports Block for tonight. Not the way we wanted the game to turn out here on the Mustang side of the ball. Nonetheless, it was a great season. You see Castellano there telling his players how good of a job they did, his seniors specifically. And like I said, you can't ask for much more as a coach.
Nope, and I just want to thank all of them for giving us a heck of a ride up here with the Sports Block, because we surely enjoyed it just as much as they did. And it's really been a pleasure watching them and all the seniors grow over the past season, and just wish them all the best of luck next year.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Of course, not only the senior football players, like you said, me and you will graduate. A majority of the people in Sports Block will graduate. So this was also our last high school football game. You see the Mustangs sharing a prayer here. But, yeah, I mean, it's an emotional time for a lot of people here at the Creek. It's tough, you know. It seemed like last year I was a freshman. What happened, you know? But like I said, that's the Middle Creek season right there. But I'm gonna sign it off here. I'm Will Giddis alongside Tyler Scholler here with another edition of the Sports Block. Didn't end the way we quite wanted, but like we said, it was great seeing everyone grow, a push into the playoffs, and you know, really just a great Mustang team for this 2013 season. So Will Giddis, Tyler Scholler, signing off for the Sports Block.